Good afternoon, Pankaj ji. You're not audible. Just a second.
Good afternoon, Rama.
Hi, Adriana. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Anand ji.
Good afternoon, madam.
Pankaj ji, some technical glitch at your end, I guess. We are unable to hear your voice. Are we audible?
His mic is muted.
No, it is actually unmuted. It's muted, is it? Pankaj ji, I'm just checking. All others are audible. No, it is actually unmuted, but voice, we are not getting his voice.
Audible now?
Now it is clear. Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Now it is clear. Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Adriana, you're in the middle of some evaluation.
I'm in the middle of a peer evaluation for my accreditation body, so
But this is the time to celebrate. Okay, occasions like this.
it's fine.
We'll just start in about 2 minutes' time. Just waiting for everybody. And the sessions everywhere today. VAT programs, multiple programs are happening. Srikantan sir, you've joined, right? You're there. Sorry.
Yeah, madam. Good afternoon.
Yes. Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Sorry. Actually, I could hear your voice. Yes.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Rama ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, I'm unable to turn on my video. It is saying that the host has turned off that option. I'm Vibhav Shrivastava from Quality Austria Central Asia.
Okay. Let me just check. You're unable to turn on your video, is it?
When I'm trying to turn on the video, it is saying that you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Let me just check. Give me just 1 second. Let me just check.
I think now I'm able. No. Yes. And yes, now I'm able to turn on.
Right.
Yeah, I did the change.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. That's
Thank
fine.
you, ma'am.
Yes. So we can start the session, Srikantan sir. The others will join. Good afternoon, Mr. Rangnath Harish.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for all the communication and coordination.
IIT SIC is always part of Milestone Days. It used to be the incubation center because we always make it a point to showcase the innovations and the innovators because the future belongs to them actually. So it's a SIC which used to participate and now it's an accredited laboratory and it's good to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Look forward to participating in this event.
Thank you. Just waiting whether Mr. Vadva has joined. He may join. Srikantan sir, can we start the session?
Yes, ma'am. Ready?
Yeah. Yes, please continue.
Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, all of you. Welcome to this World Accreditation Day for 2026, and the theme being innovation, trust, and sustainability. So my name is Srikantan. I am the Secretary for Consultants Consortium of Chennai. And I welcome all the keynote speakers and all the participants and the consultants and various stakeholders for this program. And I will just share my screen. We have started our journey, Consultants Consortium of Chennai, somewhere in 2018. So is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, it is visual.
Okay. So we are based in Chennai and we cover the entire South India. And there is also another Pan-India association. And these associations are formed with the purpose of collective voice for the consultants. And earlier there was no single platform for all the consultants. So we started off in 2019. We registered under the Tamil Nadu Societies Act in 2019. But the process of establishing started in 2018. And we call it as Consultants Consortium of Chennai, in short, CCC. So it's a single platform for all the management system consultants. And we are also giving membership to lifetime membership and accreditation boards, accreditation bodies, certification bodies, but they are under a different category, not as a consultant, and as also students, so under a different category. So we have sector-specific consultants with experience, skill, and competencies from all areas of the management systems. And our objective is to focus on the educating the industry. That is what we are working very closely with the industry, imparting knowledge on various certifications, various standards, and accreditation schemes that are available across various parts of quality, health and safety, environment, food, and etc., etc. So we are a representative voice of the management system consulting community, and our education, as you know, the knowledge dissemination ongoing basis about standard certifications, accreditations, inspections, and regulations, etc., etc. So we encourage responsible consulting, which means impartiality and focusing on standardizing the consulting practices. We collaborate with various industry platforms, various trade associations, and regulatory bodies for industry initiatives. And association members and representatives have been contributing to various standards development initiating. We have our consultants in the board of BIS also, who are framing the standards, and we represent there also. So our initiative way back in 2019 we started, and with COVID in 2011, 2021 and 22, we picked up, we did a lot of programs because everyone was stationed and nobody could move. So we used this opportunity to do various programs within the 2-year span. And we roped in a lot of members from various industry and other stakeholders. So we also did a lot of consultants meet in Chennai as well as in Delhi. We did a meeting with the various consultants. We did a lot of webinars on standards, certifications, testing, regulations, etc. And every year we celebrate Quality Month. Every year we celebrate Food Safety Day. Every year we celebrate WAD and various other series of days like today, which is the World Accreditation Day. And June month, we are focusing on sustainability, and the World Environment Day was also celebrated this month, also Food Safety Day. So this month is key for consultants and other stakeholders. We did various awareness programs. We did World Accreditation Day. We have been doing it for the past 4 years, if I am correct. And career development sessions for students. We did a lot of programs on schools, colleges, educating the students, Then we did meeting, consultants meet series, industry education series, knowledge sharing online. So we have done more than 200 such events since inception in various forms. So entrepreneurship program we did for school and college students. That was a very big success and lot of innovation. That's where we tied up with IIT on Innovation Hub, and we did a lot of programs for the students and skill development courses on standard certifications in alignment with the National Education Policy 2020. So consumer education, and one of the consumer focus is today also present. Collaborative programs with accreditation boards, certification bodies to organize industry education series. So this is the small introduction about CCC. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. I would hand over to Mrs. Rama Vedam for the proceedings. Thank you.
Thank you, Srikantan sir, for setting the tone. And once again, I would like to thank all the participants for today's session. And today is World Accreditation Day. And today's session is a small contribution as a knowledge dissemination initiative. So the theme for this year is a very interesting theme, and where the global focus is actually on innovation and building trust, and then sustainability in the businesses. So this is the global theme, and how accreditation is actually going to contribute, collaborate, and drive these three pillars. We all know that, yes, globally there is a shift because there's a lot of trust deficit that has happened and happening in the space of conformity assessment in the global trade and commerce, especially after COVID. The authenticity is actually coming under a lot of scanner, and especially of the certificates that are being floated in the market. So it is the time to strengthen and build that trust and to bring it back. And because unfortunately, all of us are seeing the marketplace in the last few years, forget about conformity assessments. It is the influencers who are driving the market, who are the marketeers who are driving the market. So it is the claims which is driving the marketplace conversations, and where the authenticity is also a big question mark with all these claims. So today's conversation, the global theme actually is going to address all these issues, because the future of trade and commerce will be driven by innovations, because the marketplace will have innovative products and innovative technologies, and especially the markets and the products that we are seeing in the marketplace over the years may not have much of a market share maybe 10-20 years from now. So then how the innovative technologies, innovations are going to kind of earn the trust, because it's going to be a fight between an influencer and a validated technology. So there's going to be a lot of challenges here also. And sustainability is where the global markets are moving forward. And sustainability world lives in claims at the moment, because everywhere there is a claim, there is an influencer coming out with a claim and a campaign. So the market needs a very strong structure in the form of an accreditation, and it is the accreditation bodies who have to who have a lot of responsibility and a lot of role to play here. And so let us see how each speaker is going to represent and share their perspectives, because it's a wide representation. We generally keep our conversations covering a wide spectrum of stakeholders. So we would like to have our first speaker today representing our National Accreditation Board. So the topic, he's representing stakeholders' voice of accreditation body. The topic that is designed is measures for enhancing trust in the third-party conformity assessment. And so we have Mr. Anandeep Gupta, the Joint Director of NABCB, joining us today. to speak. And so this is just a short introduction about Mr. Anandeep Gupta, and he's a senior accreditation professional with extensive experience in this conformity assessment domain. And then they're supporting a lot of competence, confidence, and international acceptance of accredited services. And he represents NABCB in various platforms and technical forums. So the board contributes, he also contributes immensely to developing frameworks for export sustainability and regulatory compliance. He's a regular speaker in various forums, and they, as a national accreditation board, they encourage and engage with a lot of industry and various other trade associations to collectively design and develop and strengthen the conformity assessment frameworks. So we would like to hand over the mic to Mr. Gupta, and we would like to hear his inputs about the power of accreditation, and especially in when we are talking about future of trade and commerce. Over to you, Mr. Anandji.
Yeah, first of all, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
And thank you, Ms. Rama Venugopal, Madam, for inviting NABCB in this, I think, first time. Maybe earlier, 5-6 years back, NABCB would have been the part of CCC, but there are some hiatus in between. So again, I'm delighted that at least we got an opportunity and invitation from you to speak in this very interesting session. And today, whole day, we are celebrating World Accreditation Day because NABCB and NABL also celebrated in the forenoon session. Then CEO NABCB also in another session with BIS, they are also celebrating World Accreditation Day. So the entire day is going to be celebrated by entire world today, as far as the World Accreditation Day is concerned. So I would be happy to speak about what are the reasons for distrust in the third-party conformity assessments, and the initiatives of NABCB also, the recent initiatives which can help the Indian exporters, the trade industries. Let me first share my presentations. Yeah, let's hold for a moment. Yes, please let me know if you can see the screen.
Yes, visible.
Fine.
Clear. Yes.
Thank you, madam. Okay, so I will go at the reverse way because first we have to understand what are the reasons for the lack of trust, or you can say the reasons for distrust in the third-party conformity assessment activities. So we have identified 8 factors which really contribute, or we can say which are the real cause for creating distrust in the conformity assessment activities. If you talk about first one, that is the lack of competence. It says that if the certification or inspection or testings are being done by the incompetent person, the person is not qualified or not competent for that particular task. Particular task means maybe the person is doing certification or inspections or testing. They are not qualified or competent to do that particular testing or certification or inspections. And because of having insufficient technical expertise and also inconsistent assessment practices. If you talk about second factor is conflict of interest. There are various situations where the certain bodies may come under some pressures, commercial pressures or financial pressures, which influence their certification decisions also, which may influence their certification decisions or inspection decisions. Other factor is the consultancy and certification provided by the same organization. So there are a lot of issues we come across. I think every month we get such kind of queries from various PSUs or public sector undertaking bodies or tendering organizations, wherein we found that they have floated a tender. Even this is the gap from the PSU side also. They are also not very much aware that they have to issue a tender, separate tender for the consultancy and for the certifications. What they do, generally they do release a combined tender wherein they ask for the consultancy and gap analysis and the certification as well. So where there is a potential conflict of interest, and we have started sensitizing these PSUs time to time Even we had a meetings with the Department of Public Enterprises, I think a couple of years back. And then when he gets such kind of tenders, then we used to write to those organizations to revise the tender, to issue a separate tenders for consultancy and the certifications. And many of the cases we got success also. For example, we have written to many, Airport Authority of India's, state medical suppliers, maybe some PSUs like NTPCs, NSPCs like that. So there is a need to sensitize the PSUs also to the tendering organizations also how to release the tender. So there is a tender guidance document also we have on our website, how to make tender, release tender for the consultancy and certifications. So these are the factors which can poses conflict of interest and which diminishes the trust in the third party conformity assessment activity being done by the certification bodies. And of course, the lack of independence in decision making. There are a number of cases you can say, like if a person is involved in the auditing and inspection activities, and they are also part of the decision making, that is also one of the conflict of interest. Coming to the third factor, which is about inconsistent assessment outcomes. So it says the different interpretations of requirements. So this is, I think, we should agree that there are varied interpretations of the standard requirements between even the ABSS or the certification body auditors. Variations among assessors and certification bodies in understanding or interpreting the standard requirement, uneven applications of standards. So these are the factors also contributing to in diminishing the third party trust in third party certification, inspection, or testing activities. Then insufficient oversight. So if your surveillance mechanism is weaker, or failure to address the non-conformity effectively, or delayed corrective actions. So if you are not closing the NCs or the whatever the non-conformity raised during the audit or the assessment in time, and you are not conducting the timely surveillance or timely assessment or audit to the client organizations, or the client is not taking actions on the NCs raised by the certification bodies. So these are the issues which also contribute in diminishing the trust in confidential bodies. Then the fifth one is lack of transparency. So there may be some instances when limited information and certification processes, like CBs, are not providing the complete information to their clients, because the certification process should be available on their website. It's not on request. It should be available so that their users or their customer easily can understand the process. Or unclear accreditation status and scope. If CVs are misclaiming the accreditation certificate or accreditation scope granted to them by NABCB, maybe say they have been granted for a quality management system for two scopes, same for a scope sector, say for food beverage or for coal and coke, and they are misclaiming that they are accredited for entire scope of the industry. So that is another kind of so you need to be very clear about the accreditation status, means whether the accreditation is valid or not, whether the accreditation is suspended or accreditation is terminated, or there is a break in the accreditation cycle. You have to be very clear and inform your customer accordingly. Poor communication with stakeholders, this is also one of the lack of transparency. Then coming to the sixth, the fraudulent or unethical practices. So the madam was talking about just now that a lot of issues of fake certification in the market. So even though we are doing our best to sensitize the stakeholders, but still we are coming across a lot of such anomalies, I would say, in the market, that people are getting 9,000 certificates in very paying just nominal amount, and within 2 or 3 days certificate is being issued. So whatever is possible from NABCB side, we are doing it to sensitize the stakeholder, the users, the industry. Even we started meeting the industries also and sensitizing them, making them aware that what is authentic certificate, what is non-authentic certificate. So whenever you get a certificate as a user, please see whether the certificate is having NABCB accreditation symbol, or say if maybe the other accreditation body, whether the IF MLA mark is there or not along with the accreditation body symbol, then only you should accept this. Or There is another mechanism now to check the authenticity of the management system certificates. There is a global database called as IAF Cert Search. I will show you the slide in the last slide I have, wherein you can check by putting just the certificate number or by the name of the entity or the company which is being certified for the management system, and then you get the details of those certificates. If the certificate is not available in that database, it is considered to be invalid or unauthentic certificate, and this has been made mandatory from 26 October 2024 itself. So 26 October 2024 onwards, what are the management system certificates issued by the certification bodies, accredited certification bodies? I would say emphasize accredited certification bodies. Those certificates should be available on those database. Otherwise, that is considered as invalid certificates. Then coming to the seventh is certification failure and public incidents. So if the certification process has not been followed properly, the certified organizations involved major failures. So the entity which has been certified by the certification bodies, those entities may be penalized, or the outcome of those, or you can say the services provided by those companies may get some, lead to some mishap or some major, incidents or major failures. Product recalls despite certification. So there is a recall of the product also. Environmental safety and quality incidents also may happen if the certification process has not been properly, or certification has not been done to the certified entities or organizations in a proper way, meeting the set of the requirement of the standard. Then emerging challenges, that complex global supply chain is challenge, remote assessment limitations. Nowadays, even the CVs are also doing sometimes the remote audits, and we too also have to do sometimes the remote assessment because of the current geopolitical situations or any kind of extraordinary like events. Sustainability and greenwashing concern, rapid technological changes also is one of the major challenges, which also sometimes become a major the obstacle in providing the proper services by the compensation bodies. So what does it impact? It impacts the reduce the confidence of the regulators and consumers where in the third-party conformity assessment activities. And it increases so regulatory intervention, regulatory oversight will increase if there is distrust in that, because regulators are also relying on the third-party services, confirmation services. If they do not get convinced or they do not get confidence on those confirmation activities, they will enhance their surveillance mechanism, or you can say the regulatory oversights on those bodies. It also increases the duplication of the audits and inspections. So it will lead to duplication. There are multiple audits will happen, multiple inspections will happen because of this distrust. And also there will be the technical barriers to trade and market access. It will be. So ultimately, the businesses will get affected because of this TBD, technical barriers to trade, if there is no trust in the third-party convention. So because globally, if you see, the trade is happening because of this accreditation and conformity assessment framework. If it doesn't have any trust in this third-party kind of certification, inspection, testing, calibration services, so that finally the export or the trade will get affected. And finally, it will also damage to the reputation of that CB or the IB's inspection body or the laboratory. So this is what I just wanted to explain the reasons for why there is a lack of trust in these third-party conformity assessments. Now, coming to accreditation. So how it is being, it can be enhanced. The trust can be enhanced. So where accreditation comes in the picture? I would not go in detail the definitions. You might be aware of this. Just a brief accreditation means you should understand there is a formal third-party, kind of attestation that the body is competent to do that task. A person is competent to do that task. In terms of conformity assessment, I would say if a body is competent, body means certification body is third party. He is competent, the body is competent to perform the certification activities. That is called as accreditation. So independent assurance, if you read the definition, independent assurance. So third party person, either not the user nor the industry or not the customer. The third party is formally attesting that or certifying that this body or this person is competent to perform this task. So how we do this? So we verify the competence by assessment of the technical competence, the personal qualifications, the sectoral scope expertise, and also having regular surveillance and reassessment to ensure continued compliance. So we do a lot of office assessment of the certification bodies and inspection bodies, and followed by some even the actual witness assessment also we do, wherein the certification bodies or the inspection bodies, inspector or the certifier or the auditor perform the actual audit on the client site. That is also being witnessed by NABCB assessment team. Second is ensures impartiality. So evaluation of mechanisms, how the certification body or inspection body is ensuring the impartiality aspect, how they are safeguarding the impartiality across their certification activities, whether their decisions are being taken independently or not, whether the person who has been involved in the auditing, they should not involved in the decision making of the certification decision making as per the standard requirements. So these things are being evaluated in our assessment for this, that enhanced transparency, like public availability of accreditation status and scope. So once we make a decision on the accreditation to the certification body and inspection body, we publicly, announce their accreditation status and for which scope, for which scheme they are accredited for. So you can go to our website NABCB, you can, check the list of the accredited certification bodies or inspection bodies, and if you click there, you will get the scope, their accreditation status, for which scheme they are accredited. Also, by strengthening the accountability to moratorium corrective action and NCs. So whatever the NCs have been raised earlier, we used to monitor that also. Based on that, we select the audits for witness also using the risk-based approach. And then any kind of deviations or a kind of fraudulent activities or the CB or IB not meeting the requirements or any kind of complaint also. So we may take some adverse actions also, like suspension or withdrawal of the accreditation when the requirements are not met, or in case of any unethical practices or malpractices we find. Finally, it facilitates the global acceptance. So because by virtue of having IAF, a multilateral amendment with IAF, and mutual recognition amendment with ILAC, these IAF and ILAC are the two apex bodies who are having the oversight on all the inspection certification activities. So we are, by virtue of having MLA and MRA to all these apex bodies, NABCB is, the accredited certificate or the inspection report issued by any NABCB accredited certification body or inspection bodies is considered at par with any kind of other, any reports or certificates issued by any other conformity bodies accredited by any other ABs in the world. And also enabling international acceptance of accredited conformity results. So accreditation transforms the confidence into the trust by ensuring that whether the certification activity or the inspection activity is performed competently, consistently, and in an impartial manner, thereby supporting the regulatory reliance, consumer protection, and international trade. So this is the ultimate goal, is to facilitate the international trade by reducing the technical barriers to trade, TBT. Now coming to our mandate, so we used to provide accreditations to conformity certification bodies, inspection bodies, and validation verification bodies, as well as per the international standards. Also, we support and facilitate government, technical regulators, and industries in verifying or demonstrating the compliance to various technical regulations or the standards through our accredited third-party certification bodies and inspection bodies and validation verification bodies. And also to be internationally recognized by being part of international systems. So we have valid MLA and MRA signatory status to ILAC and IAF. So by that, we also make a dent in the country that we are one of the best accreditation body in the world, even I would say at par with many of the European accreditation bodies. Even if we compare many of the accreditation bodies in Europe or US, we have the scope more than that under IFMLA or ILAC MRA. So benefits of accreditations to global exporters. So it fosters global market acceptance because of having the valid MLA and MRA signatory to ILAC and IF. Reduce duplicate audits and certification. So accredited certifications results reduce technical barriers to trade. Accredited once, accepted everywhere. improving buyer confidence. Like global buyers prefer accredited certificates over non-accredited claims because competence and personality are verified, and that is of prime importance to these global buyers. Eligibility for regulated supply chains. Many global OEMs, retailers, and importers require accredited ISO product or inspection certificates. You might be knowing this. So this is all about the benefits. Now coming to the entire international equivalence framework, how does it operate? If you see at the top, IAF and ILAC, these were two separate bodies. Because 1st January 2026 onwards, these two apex bodies got amalgamated into one single common body, that is Global ACI, Global Accreditation Cooperation Incorporated. This is a new entity, and which is merged, which is a result of merger between IAF and ILAC. Now, this is the top, and then there are various regional accreditation cooperations are established in various regions. Like in Africa, there is AFREC, African Accreditation Cooperation. If you talk about Europe, there is EA, European Accreditation Cooperations. And in Asia, there's APAC, Asia Pacific Accreditation Cooperations. Likewise, IAAC, it is in Inter-American Accreditation Cooperation. And if you talk about Gulf, there is ARAC, Arab Accreditation Cooperation. So these regional cooperations are having one-to-one MLA or MRA with this top apex bodies, Global ACI. And within each regional cooperation, there are accreditation bodies, but it differs from Europe, from Asia to Europe to Americans. In Europe, there is a regulation called EU 765/2008, which comes in 2008, which says that there will be only one national accreditation body in each European Union member country. And those bodies will be under the control of the government. So they will be providing accreditation to this, all these CVs, IBs, and laboratories. But unlike EA in America, the situation is quite different. So there are various accreditation bodies operating in India, even in America region. A lot of private accreditation bodies are also operating there, but they're also having MLA and MRA with the ILAC, IF, now which is Global ACI. So accreditation body provides accreditation to the certification bodies, inspection bodies. And if you see at the right side, there is a standard ISO IC 17011. This is the standard on which accreditation bodies operates. Like NABCB operates as per this standard, because we as an accreditation body also being peer evaluated every 4 years by the the APAC or you can say IAF or ILAC, these bodies. So for each and every schemes they use to come after every 4 years, they see whether we are complying to the requirement of ISO IC 17011, as well as the APAC requirement and IF mandatory requirement, ILAC policy level requirement. There are a lot of other requirement in addition to this standard, which NABCB has to comply. And then if you see that the next one at the right side, the standards I mentioned, these are the accreditation standards, which is to be complied by the conformity assessment bodies like 1720, ISO IC 1720, it is for the inspection body to meet or to comply to get accredited by NABCB. 17065, which is a product certification body accreditation standard. If any production body wanted to become accredited, they have to meet the requirement of 17065. Then 1724, it's a very good standard. It is an accreditation standard for the personal certification bodies, wherein the certification bodies accredited by accreditation bodies are certifying a person for the particular skill or for particular, job. Then ISO IC 1721-1. So this is a management system accreditation standard. So the certification body, if they intend to become accredited by NABCB, they have to meet the requirement of this standard, as well as there are other level standard like level 4, level 5 other standards are there. They have to meet that. And then last one is 17029. It was earlier 14065 before 2019. So which is a specific standard, accreditation standard for the GHG, greenhouse gases, wherein the verifier verification bodies are accredited as per 14065. But in 2019, this 1729 has come and 14065 has come at one level down. So 1729 is the base, then one level down 14065. So 1729 covers across the sectors for GHG, because 14065 was only for GHG, greenhouse gases, but 1729 it covers various sectors like construction also, for software also, or medical devices also. So this is the accreditation standard for against which the verification validation bodies are being assessed by NABCB to assess their competence and to grant accreditation to these validation verification bodies. And at the bottom, you can see standards against which certified, like these are the level 5 certification standards. You might be knowing 9,000, 14,001. So after getting accredited by NABCB, all these certification bodies are doing certifications. If they are getting accredited for quality management system 9001, they can start certifying and issuing the accredited certificates under NABCB to the entities or the organizations. So just for your information, the stats about the accreditation body membership to ILAC and IF. So currently 99 accreditation bodies are members to IF MLA. So see, IF regulates, or you can say having oversight on certification and validation verification bodies, not the inspection. Inspection comes under ILAC, like laboratory and inspection activities comes under ILAC MRA. But in IF, certification, if I talk about certification, then certification comprises person certification, product certification, management system certifications. They come under IF framework. Inspection comes under ILAC. So 99 accreditation bodies are having MLA to IF, and 33 association members, they do not having any voting right in the IF. 6 regional accreditation groups representing 115 economies like APAC, IF, APAC, European accreditations, I already mentioned in the previous slide. Gulf like Iraq, Arabian, African in Africa, AFREC. If you talk about ILAC MRA, so here you can see 121 full members representing 122 economies under ILAC MRA. Now coming to NABCB, I just wanted to sensitize. If time permits, ma'am, please stop me if I'm exceeding the time. I will expedite.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please continue.
Here you can see the number of accreditation programs we have, and we are providing accreditation to the CAPs. If you talk about management systems, we have a number of programs, and recently in last 3-4 years, we have launched many significant accreditation schemes also. Like we talk about aerospace quality management system, which was launched in February 2023. And this is not under IAF. This is under the different apex body that is known as IAQG, International Aerospace Quality Group. They do our annual evaluation. Like I mentioned, for APAC or IAF or ILAC, they do every 4 years. But IAQG do annual evaluation of NABCB to check whether we are meeting the requirement of IAQG or not. So aerospace quality management system, here in the suppliers, aerospace suppliers, which are certified for AS 9100. So we have been approved under European Aerospace Quality Group. European Aerospace Quality Group under IAQG is our SMS, sector management structure. And then we have been approved, when we were approved, our regional management structure was UK RMS. UK RMS was supporting us. And the evaluation was done by UK RMS. So we got approved after the rigorous evaluations of our office assessment, our witness assessment, our NABCB office evaluations, and they approved us. Well, later on, the Indian RMS has been established, and they have also undergone evaluation by Japan RMS. And now we are operating under Indian RMS. Indian RMS is a regional structure. And Indian RMS is reporting to SMS, that is European Aerospace Quality Group. This is altogether different structure and very robust scheme, and totally industry control. It is called as ICOP, Industry Control Other Party Scheme. All the OEMs like Pratt Whitney, Airbus, Boeing, GE, Mahindra Airbus, all big companies are operating this entire IAQG system. Then talking about artificial intelligence management system, we launched in 2024. We have also a program of FSSC 24000, that is social management system based on, as you might heard about SA 8000 or ISMETA guidelines. So this is another scheme, international scheme, which was launched by FSSC 24000, and we have even granted one accreditation also for this scheme. Then privacy information management system, it was earlier under information security management system. Now the accreditation standard has been published, separate standard has been published, and we have also developed the separate accreditation criteria and start providing the accreditation for separate accreditation for the privacy information management system. Earlier it was with information security. There was no separate accreditation standard. So now there is a standard which has to be met by the certification body to get accredited for privacy information management system to certify the entities for 27701. Product certification, if we talk about product certification, we have a lot of other schemes, including Global Gap is under IFMLA. And also, I could not add this. I have to update this because BRCGS food is also under IFMLA. IFS food is also under IFMLA, all under product certifications. And then personal certifications, we have this program also, wherein I think some of the skills have been, skill scope have been granted to some of the certification bodies who are certifying, like I think yoga and like traditional healer practices, and some HSE managers also, and the person working at the height. Those schemes have, because personal certification always requires the personal certification schemes to start doing certifications. Inspection is one of the largest program, having 160 plus 170 around inspection bodies, and covering across the industry sectors. And validation verification, having 14065 GHG and ICAO CORSIA. ICAO CORSIA is international scheme for civil aviation organizations, international civil aviation organizations for carbon offsetting reduction scheme. It comes under ISO 1729 under the validation verification bodies. So this is all about our programs. I'll just go to the next slide, wherein we are very much recognized by almost all the global schemes. Closely working with them, we have signed bilateral MOUs with them, and almost we have provided, if you talk about FSSC Foundation have two schemes. One is FSSC 22,000, which is a very popular scheme, food safety scheme, and it comes under food safety management systems. We have around 20 plus certification bodies for accredited for doing certification for FSSC 22,000. FSSC 24,000 I just mentioned, we have started last year only recently, one accreditation granted, and two more applications. We are having this 24,000. And talk about global gap, good regulatory practices. Not much certification bodies accredited, but yes, the certification quantum, if you see issued under NABCB, the certification bodies have issued around 800 plus certification under global gap under NABCB only. Formic US is another international scheme for feed ingredient quality of the and safety of the feed ingredient. It is a management system. It also based on the principle of HACCP only. It comes under FSMS. International feature standard. This is the product certification standard coming under the framework of 17065. Global Seafood Alliance, that is best aquaculture. This is a aquaculture food international scheme. We have under 17065. BRCGS, we are running program for food safety as well as the packaging materials. PEFC is a program for endorsement of forest certification. This is a forest certification. It covers both forest management as well as the chain of custody standards. Both are coming under 17065 framework. And ICAO CORSIA, already I mentioned this. Vera VCS is all the specific programs in the GHG, international program, verified carbon standard for a sustainable future. SERI R2, we have a MOU with SERI. This is again an American scheme for recycling and reuse of the electronic waste. It's a management system. It is the prerequisite is the certificate body should have accreditation for 14,001 EMS and 45,001 OHSMS. Then they can apply for SERI R2 and get accredited and start certifying the recyclers or refurbishers under this R2 standard. Then gold standard, again the GHG program. ISCC CORSIA, this is one of the recent development what we have signed MOU with ISCC. ISCC is International Sustainable Carbon Certification. It's a Germany-based private scheme owner, but very much popular and very much prevalent in the area of this sustainable aviation fuel. So this scheme comes under the product certification. Even though basically it is based on the GHG claims, greenhouse gases verification methodologies, but it comes on 17065 for the sustainable aviation fuel. And there is first entity in India which is certified by NABCB accredited certification body is Indian Oil Refinery Panipat for the production of SAF. GOTS is Global Organic Textile Standard. It's Organic Textile Standard. It's a private standard again, 17065 only. And then recently we have signed a MOU with Better Cotton Initiative. And we had conducted capacity building also with the support from Better Cotton Initiative. It's a sustainable cotton scheme, I think European scheme, and it is coming under again 17065 framework. Cosmos, I think just a few months back we have discussion with Cosmos. It's an organic and sustainable cosmetic certification scheme. Again, this is an European scheme under 17065. So we are expanding to just support the exporters, the traders, to enhance the trade, Indian trade or export. Because if anybody wanted to export, they have to meet the buyer's requirement. The buyer's requirement specifies maybe you have to be certified for FSSC, you have to be certified for Formic US or the ICC CORSIA, GOTS, Better Cotton. So these are the schemes we are exploring to just support and help the industries only. Now, this already I mentioned that International Aerospace Quality Group. So now fostering collaboration with the scheme owners. So there are all these we have discussed. Not go in detail. This is 24,000. It's FSSC 24,000 social management system. It's based on the past 24,000 2022 plus FSSC additional requirements are there. So it focuses on basically the human rights, ethical labor, and fair working conditions in the industry. The certification body must be accredited by an AB 270. So the prerequisite is that the certification body, if wanted to get accredited for 20, to have one accreditation for under 17 or 21-1. And the purpose is to promote responsible business conduct, strengthen social performance, due diligence, improve worker welfare and safety. ICC CCC, as I mentioned, this is the scheme for the carbon offsetting scheme for international system of carbon certification for the sustainable aviation fuel, because the DGCA, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India has acknowledged, even prescribed NABCB as the national accreditation body to provide accreditation to the third-party product certification bodies for ISCC CORSIA scheme related to the sustainable aviation fuel. In fact, we have also granted one of the certification body from Malaysia for this scheme, because Malaysian accreditation body do not have recognition from ICC CORSIA. So we are trying to exceed the other international accreditation body also by having this kind of recognition, and because these schemes are very robust and tough schemes. Because the qualifying assessors also is not easy. You have to qualify the exams, 5 days comprehensive exams, qualify their scorings, and then you will become eligible for doing the audits for ICC CORSIA. So here you can see we have the impacts in almost all the industry sectors, starting from food, rubber, plastic, concrete, basic water supply, construction, and many more. Cross-sector business benefits for exporters. So all you can see, all these certifications will certainly help, like, for example, food processing, seafood, agri-food, all we have the schemes, accreditation schemes for all these sectors. Pharmaceutical medical devices, that NABCB accredited bodies are notified by CDSCO, who is the regulator of the country for medical devices, to certify the medical device manufacturers to ISO 13485. And then engineering goods and electrical electronic sector, you see all the relevant certifications, QMS, EMS, and OHSMS, product certification and the accreditation schemes. So finally, it reduces the technical barriers to trade and better acceptance and developed supply environments. Textile sector, we have the Better Cotton Initiatives, Global Organic Textile Standard, GOTS, which supports the textile export. Sustainability, we have a lot of developments are happening in sustainability, even the carbon markets also. And we are working rigorously. Even we are working with the SEBI also for BRSR core framework, so that the NABCB accredited validation body could get recognized by SEBI to do the verifications, or the non-financial reporting BRSR. It's still under discussion. Hopefully, we'll get success in this also. Aerospace export, NABCB is having scheme aerospace for AS 9100. And this is very good scheme wherein we have a very good, collaborations with all the major aerospace OEMs companies, including Tata Advanced Systems. So these are the the slide which will give you the information about the regulators and the government authority. Even the corporates also are relying on NABCB accredited inspection bodies and certification bodies for various sectors, like food sector, FSSI, for medical devices, CDSCO, DCGI, even for food processing, MFPI also. EPIDA also recognizes, accredited food safety management system, NABCB accredited only bodies to do the, empowerment for doing HACCP audits for the industries. So this is our website where you can get the information about the NABCB accredited bodies, product certification bodies, inspection body, management system, or any others. And also you can get the status of those, whether they are accredited from which state to state, what is their scope, and the accreditation documents, procedure, criteria, all are available on our website. So this is in brief the accreditation process. Ma'am, can I proceed, or just I have the sort of time?
Just a second. How long it will take? How many more slides?
I think 3-4 more.
Yeah, please continue and.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So just for information, what is our process? Like we used to ask for the application from the certification body, the inspection body, and then there will be review at our level. and then we'll proceed to the document review. So scheme review is a process in between, which is generally applicable for in cases of product certifications or person certifications, or even some cases inspections also. But the process start from application review to document review. Document review means the documentation compliance we have to see, and then office assessment, wherein the team visit the office of the certification body and inspection body to see whether and interact with their auditor, their personnel for their competence. They will go through their client file, which are already been inspected or certified, and then see whether the certification process or inspection process have been followed, whether they are meeting the requirement of the standard or not. And then after the office assessment, we'll go to the witness assessment, wherein the certification body's auditors perform the audit on the client side for that particular scope. And then our team also go and just meekly observe. There is no intervention. Our team do not intervene in the process of auditing by the certification body and inspection bodies. In case we get some feedback that some of the assessors or our officials intervene in the process of auditing or the inspections of the certification body, inspection bodies, we used to just train them and sensitize them. This is not the best practice. Witness assessment based on the the observations and the judgment, we just conclude whether the CB's auditor is competent as a whole. CB is competent to do the certification audit or not. Then after that, both reports will go under the technical review. Technical review is done by the independent person or the team who have not participated in the assessment process. And then finally, the decision making also being done by the independent committee, even the independent from the technical review also. The technical review team is different, decision making is different. And then after accreditation, we have an annual surveillance audit, the witness assessments also. And then the initial accreditation cycle is of 3 years, followed by every annual surveillance, and then re-accreditation cycle is of 4 years. So this is where you can see the website. You can this IAF ILAC. Now it's a global ACI, and I just wanted to show this one. This is the IAF search database. IAF search, wherein I think 3 verifications you can do for free. After that, I think subscription is required. So if you want to verify the certificate, you just enter the company's name or the certificate number. You will get the details for which scheme or for which scope they are certified. So all management system, only the management systems. This is applicable for only management system certification. You can see here, as on date, around 36,28,000 certifications are available on this IAF search database, and 2,526 certification bodies have logged in, and 82 accreditation bodies are there in this database. So this is all about my presentation. Sorry. So I'm happy to respond if any clarifications or queries from your side.
Anandji, will you be staying back for the session till the end? Because Q&A is something which we have just kept towards the end, actually.
Okay.
But this is a very interesting presentation, Anandji, because maybe, as you rightly said, it's been quite some time since we had this kind of sessions, and there's a lot of awareness that is needed. As you were talking, actually, that's what we were just planning. Maybe we'll organize some more sessions jointly with the industry platforms. Let us say there are about hundreds of chambers of commerce in the country and the trade associations. Even their understanding of the national boards and the schemes and the kind of validation programs, conformity assessment programs that are happening in the country, they don't have that awareness.
So we try to participate in almost all the forums. Even recently, in the last month only, I was in FIO, Federation of Indian Export Organizations. There I also realized that there is no understanding, there is no awareness at all.
Because that is what, because I represent a Chamber of Commerce. We generally do a lot of industry sessions. So we will plan from our association, and we will plan jointly with industry forum, because many schemes, to be very honest, even we as consultants are not aware. We are not aware, and these are sector specific. So it's that is why I did not have the heart to stop you, because at least there's a message. This is being live streamed, and people will get to know about what's happening. We will create a dedicated session only on this. Maybe a 2-hour session is what we can plan. And so that's very insightful presentation. I only wish just one ask from our end, consultants. Hereafter, at least we should start talking about the reforms that are needed in the conformity assessment space. Maybe one slide if you can add in all your presentations in future. What are the reforms that we should, as a country, we should be planning on conformity assessment? I heard the Bureau of Indian Standards DG talking about reforms that are needed, listening to his conversation, which is actually very impactful also. So I think because we know what are the challenges, we know where there's a derailment, we know why there's a trust deficit. That 8 points, 9 points slide is it's actually it's a big blow, and it's come out so powerful. The reasons for the trust deficit. Maybe we can start talking about some reforms also in the future sessions.
Certainly.
Inviting stakeholders' voice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this, and we request you to stay back, and maybe we'll ask the audience to post the questions in the chat box.
Okay.
We'll do it. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much. So the next speaker we have now. I have a request to make Mr. Wadhwa. Sir, you're here. Harbans Wadhwa ji. Sir,
Yeah,
good afternoon.
ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining, because your session is very interesting, and I know that it is the need of our topic. I don't want to stop you midway also. Can I make a small request to you, Adwaji? After your session, we have Adriana speaking about sustainability. She has actually, she stepped out of a peer assessment that is happening at her place. She stepped out to be part of this. Shall I request her to do her session, and after that we can move on to your session? Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely no problem. Yeah.
Thank you so much, because your session is also very interesting. And Adriana, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you very
So
much.
I request you to take over, and so I would like to quickly make a small introduction, and because your topic is also now sits in the theme, and that's a global theme where we need to have marketplace conversations on sustainability. And at the moment, what's happening, at least, in the marketplace, as I said, sustainability is fed by claims. It's fed by a lot of greenwashing. It's fed by claims. And so we really wanted to have more and more marketplace conversations on sustainability standards, and which is the need of the hour also. And so at least there are standards which are available. A lot of education is needed for all stakeholders. So let me just quickly introduce Adriana. She is a sustainability and assurance professional with a lot of global experience. She has expertise in sustainability standards, certifications, and assurance programs. She leads a lot of initiatives in the quality management space. She's the quality director of Assurance Services International. And she is a specialist in certification, credibility, integrity, and effectiveness. And she's part of a lot of advocacy forums. She's a strong advocate for trust, transparency, and ethical code impartiality and technical excellence. Contributes a lot to global discussions on ESG and integrity, certifications integrity. And she's an environmental engineering graduate and resource management professional. She's very passionate about contributing to, strengthening the confidence and sustainability claims through robust assurance and oversight programs. So she will be speaking about promoting sustainability through accreditation. So over to you, Adriana. You're muted.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, I have 3 screens, so I didn't know where the Zoom is. Can you see my screen?
Right. It's visible, clear.
It is?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ms. Rama, for the kind introduction and for the invitation to join today. My name is Adriana Guzman, and I'm the Quality Director at Assurance Services International, or ASI. And ASI is an assurance provider, and we work globally with sustainability initiatives to help ensure that claims are trustworthy. And it's a pleasure to join you today in celebrating World Accreditation Day. Thank you very much also for moving the session. As Ms. Rama say, I'm in the middle of my peer evaluation here at the accreditation body, and I need to go continue to the audit. So as I was preparing for today's event, I keep coming to a simple question. Why do trustworthy sustainability claims matter? And these ones, they help prevent environmental and social harm. They help protect the rights of workers, of indigenous people, on local communities. They help guide consumer choices, and they help reward organizations that are truly making a difference. Because when people trust sustainability claims, they're more likely to support responsible products, responsible business, and responsible practices. And today, trustworthy claims are needed more than ever, because every sustainability decision ultimately depends on the information that people can trust. So whether we are talking about responsible sourcing, about sustainable forestry, sustainable fisheries, fair labor, reduced carbon emissions, or biodiversity protection, these systems may be all different, but they have one thing in common. They rely on claims. Claims about performance, claims about outcomes, and claims about impact. And if those claims are not trusted, the entire system struggles to create impact. So let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at sustainability claim, a product, a report, because we're all in the conformity assessment business, or a company website, and you thought, okay, that sounds good, but how do I know if this is true? What is the evidence behind the claim? If that has crossed your mind, I just want you to give me some quick thumbs up here in Zoom, just to see some reactions and read the room. Let me see if I can open up everybody here. There's a little heart under in the Zoom, so you can. Yeah, I see some. Yes. Thank you. So whether you answer yes or simply you were thinking about the question, it just highlights something important for us. People are not looking for more claims. They're looking for confidence in the claims that exist. And we are nowadays surrounded by so many. We can see net zero, climate positive, deforestation free, responsibly sourced, ethically produced chocolate. And as Ms. Rama highlighted in her introduction, we're living in a world where information comes from many different sources: companies, experts, certification system, social network, and increasingly influencers as well. That was nailed on. So we are not lacking claims. We are not lacking standards, and we are certainly not lacking data. The challenge is knowing which claims we can trust. Because sustainability doesn't move forward just because somebody makes a claim. It moves forward when people believe in that claim. And trust isn't something that we just declare. You cannot print it on a package. You cannot print it on a report. Trust is earned. And earning trust requires more than good intentions. It requires a system that works, evidence that stands to scrutiny, and confidence that what is being claimed is actually truth. So let's take a closer look at what sits behind a sustainability claim. When we see a label, a claim on a product, we often focus on the claim, on that final message that we're reading. This is a responsible source timber. This is sustainable seafood. This is a fairly produced product. But what we don't see is everything that's happening behind the scenes. We have a standard that is defining what good performance looks like. We have organizations that are implementing the requirements set in that standard. We have auditors evaluating the compliance with the standards. And we have certification or verification validation bodies that are making decisions. So there's an entire system working before that claim even reaches us. And at the end, everything is just trying to answer one simple question. Can this claim be trusted? Because when people trust sustainability systems, they're more likely to use them. They're more likely to support them and act on the information that these systems are providing. And then when trust grows, impact can also grow. So strong standards are essential. We all work with standards, but standards alone are not enough. They need to be implemented consistently, they need to be assessed competently, and they need to be applied impartially. Which raises an important question. Who checks that this is actually happening? Who is checking the checkers? And here is where accreditation plays such an important role. And if we take an example, let's say one company is saying our timber is responsibly sourced. Most of us cannot visit every forest. We cannot inspect every supplier, and we certainly cannot verify every piece of information by ourselves. We don't have the competence, we don't have the time. So what can we do is that we rely on systems that provide the confidence on those claims. We have verification and certification that are checking whether the claim is supported by evidence. Then we have accreditation that is checking that certifier or that verifier, evaluating if they are competent, if they're consistent, and if they're credible, and if they're impartial. And the thing about accreditation is that we operate behind the scenes. Most consumers never see it. Most people rarely talk about it. My husband really has no idea what do I do for a living. But despite being invisible, accreditation is one of the foundations that allows trust to scale markets, supply chain, and sustainability systems. So when we are talking about sustainability, most of the people are always thinking, oh, forest, a fishery, climate, workers, biodiversity. But accreditation contributes in a different way. It helps create confidence in the systems behind the sustainability claims. And that confidence is the one that supports claims that the people can rely on. So for sustainability initiatives and for scheme owners, accreditation is not only about oversight. It's really also about providing them with valuable information about their systems to know if their systems are working in practice. What are the weaknesses? What needs improvement? Where are the risks? And how a system can become strong over time. In that sense, accreditation supports both accountability and continuous improvement. So the result is better information for decision-making. Consumers, companies, investors, and policymakers all depend on reliable information when they're making their choices. So without credibility, claims have little value. People need the confidence that a claim is backed up by evidence and supported by a robust system. And when that confidence exists, then a claim can influence decisions and it can drive positive change. Also, they play an important role in building brand value and reputation, because nowadays many companies use sustainability claims to communicate their commitments and also to differentiate themselves in the market. But a claim at the end is only as good as the system behind it. So if people don't trust the system, they don't know the system, they don't understand the system, they're unlikely to trust the claim. And when people do trust those claims, they are willing to act on them. They are more likely to support responsible products. They're more likely to support responsible business, more likely to support responsible practices. And that is how accreditation helps promote sustainability. Not by creating claims, but by helping ensure they are credible, reliable, and trusted. And The challenge of building trust is exactly why organizations like ASI exist. Our vision is simple: a world where sustainability claims are trustworthy, and our purpose is to enable and distinguish sustainability systems that drive positive environmental and social impact. We work with sustainability initiatives such as the Forest Stewardship Council, the Marine Stewardship Council, Aquaculture Stewardship Council, or the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil. And these initiatives were created many, many years ago to address real-world challenges, from protecting forests and oceans to supporting responsible production and supply chain. But the reality is that achieving impact requires more than having a strong standard. It requires confidence that the system behind that standard is working as intended. And that is where ASI contributes. So sustainability systems are involving many actors. We have certificate holders, we have certification bodies, we have scheme owners, we have right holders, and ultimately we have the public, which is the one relying on the sustainability claims when making decisions. And trust depends on how all of these actors interact. ASI helps strengthen confidence across this ecosystem by overseeing certification bodies, by providing different assurance services, by identifying risk, and actively engaging stakeholders and holding actors, in this case the CVs, accountable when needed. And ultimately, our role is to help safeguard the integrity of the entire systems. So sustainability systems today are operating in more complex and rapidly changing environments. So risk is emerging in different places. It could be across different countries. And the thing is that risk often happens far away from where decisions are being made. That means that maintaining trust requires more than simply just checking the standard, checking procedures in a head office assessment. It requires understanding where the risks are existing and whether the system is working as intended. And that means oversight needs to evolve as well. So at ASI, we are increasingly using tools such as satellite imagery. We're using remote sensing, geospatial analysis. We're using transaction data verification, and we're doing risk monitoring. And these tools help us identify situations that might require closer attention, whether that situation is a deforestation, damage to protected areas, land right conflicts, or other environmental and social risks. They also help us focus resources where risks are greatest, and also give us a broader picture of what is happening on the ground. So at the end, the objective is simple: better evidence, better oversight, better decisions. So let me show you a small example. Let's hope that the video works. So what you're seeing here, this example comes from an Aquaculture Stewardship Council certified shrimp farm in Southeast Asia. And what we did is that we combined the drones and then satellite data, GIS analysis, and an on-site assessment. And we were able to see things that would be really difficult to observe if we would have used a traditional assessment alone. So the information helped us better understand the changes in land use, also to assess the mangrove area surrounding the shrimp farm, evaluate all of the ecological buffer areas, water quality, and support also the verification of compliance with the sustainability requirements. Here, what matters is not the technology. Technology is just a tool. What matters is having better information to make better decisions, because better evidence leads to stronger oversight, and stronger oversight helps build the integrity of sustainability claims. So the theme of this year's World Accreditation Day is innovation, trust, and sustainability. And I believe those three concepts are deeply connected. Innovation is essential for addressing some of the most complex sustainability challenges that we're facing today. Whether we are monitoring forests, assessing supply chain, or identifying emerging risks, new approaches can help us gather better evidence and therefore make better decisions. Innovation creates new solutions and new ways of understanding what is happening on the ground. Sustainability creates societal value, but trust is what allows both of these to scale. Without trust, innovation struggles to gain acceptance. Without trust, sustainability struggles to gain credibility. And in that sense, innovation, trust, and sustainability are part of the same journey. And accreditation helps connect them by providing the confident and transforms information into credible claims and credible claims into meaningful action. So as we celebrate World Accreditation Day, I believe sustainability has entered a new phase. The question is no longer, can organizations make sustainability claims? Anyone can make a claim nowadays. The question that matters now is, can stakeholders trust that claim? Because trust is what turns commitments into credibility. It's what turns information into action. And ultimately, it's what allows sustainability initiatives to create real impact. But trust doesn't happen by accident. Trust is built in our world through strong standards, through credible verification and certification, through effective oversight, and through accreditation. Accreditation plays an essential role in creating confidence in the systems behind sustainability claims. And when those systems are trusted, they can drive meaningful environmental and social impact. And that is why accreditations remain such an important part of sustainable development. And that is why our mission at ASI is simple. Our world where sustainability claims are trustworthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adriana. Thank you so much for that insightful, short, crisp, and sweet session. We need more conversations on sustainability. There's a lot of integrity that is required, and all these claims are actually anything on conformity assessment. When I claim that my product is good, my service is good, excellent, but it's only what the marketplace we are seeing is, as I keep repeating, more of a claims and less of a validation. So sustainability also has a lot of social impact. Even a conformity assessment has a lot of social impact. See, this is why we keep saying the innovators going to have the future, and future belongs to the innovators. That's a different breed that is emerging. It's a lot of so that is why we don't want them to fall under this claims business and to be serious about their product validations. That social impact is something which even the conformity assessment structures are not addressing much. And sustainability, the entire focus is on creating a strong social impact. And I think more and more conversations are needed. Maybe as an accreditation body, you may have your spokes established in the form of certification bodies throughout the world. We request you to keep joining us for future sessions. So any questions from the audience, just one or two, because you said you have to leave. Just checking any question. Okay. What kind of okay, just one question says iPhone. Thank you for the webinar. Very interesting. It needs to be noted that rigorous systems, trusted claims usually associate with high costs. Remote, indigenous, vulnerable communities, even smaller organizations in different sectors are struggling. What kind of narrative are you using then? And what is the path forward is the question.
To be aware that most of the sustainability systems nowadays, they're all voluntary systems. And it's true, they do involve high cost. Keeping a forest, doing responsible sourcing, managing fisheries, that all is high cost. But there are a lot of companies, most of the schemes that we work with, they've been in the market for over 20 years. FSC is the oldest scheme related to forestry. MSC has also more than 15 years in the market. There are a lot of clients, and the ones that are normally covering most of the costs are the certification bodies and of course the certificate holders. Now the communities, all of these schemes started more with the focus on the environmental part, not so much on the social part. So the social part is something that is coming over with the years, and it's being included now with ILO convention and everything. And they're keeping in my communities, of course, they're keeping indigenous people. But the cost part is really the certificate holder and the CV. So it's a voluntary scheme. We understand that, but there are still a lot of people doing that. And at the end, it's the communities having the benefits if a forest doesn't get removed and is protected. There's another comment in there, but if you want to know more about ASI, we have also a couple of webinars, I think in YouTube, that just introduce what we do and what kind of services we have. And we're also trying to do more case studies where people can see, like with the drones, how we go on site and how we're checking with the communities, because each program is different. If you're working with palm oil, the risks are different. There you're really talking about land use. There you're talking about habitat destruction, or there you're talking about workers' right. If you go to forestry, you're talking about deforestation, high conservation values. If you go to fisheries, it's overfishing. Each of them, the risk is different. So that's why our services are also different.
Keep sharing us all those videos, any podcasts, any literature, case studies, publications, research notes, helps us to it's a knowledge dissemination. At the end of the day, all of us have to really understand, and because these are all emerging ones, feel free anytime to drop us a mail, and we will just keep sharing this with all the stakeholders through our regular campaigns, because all of us will learn, try to understand what's happening, and when the market is open for all these certifications, at least as I said, a lot of integrity issues associated with the complete supply chain of the conformity assessment, and so understanding the basics is also essential. There's a lot of noise about sustainability and ESG and this and that, but then the bottom line is a strong social impact. And that's it. And so that is where the focus has to be. So please keep sharing all that literature with us. Thank you so much once again for joining us amidst your very tight schedule, packed schedule. And so we are looking forward to having your sessions in future also. Thank you. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Have a nice day.
Bye. And so that's an insightful session on sustainability and promoting that through accreditation. Next, we will just move on to our very next session. And it's an interesting session because the topic comparative testing and the role of accreditation in promoting consumer welfare. The stakeholder voice here, representation here is from Consumer Forum, which is Voice, which is a strong consumer forum in the country. So we have Mr. Harbans Wadhwa, who is the trustee and the board member, who's here to talk to us about the comparative testing. So I just did one small study myself, understand what the comparative testing. So when I read that, I understood that this is not something that is new. Actually, comparative testing has been there in the system, in the marketplace. Maybe it is there as a system or as a format, but then, it has not really come to focus and come to limelight. And maybe this is the time. This is the time for the markets to have this more focus on this comparative testing. Because I personally consider this as a very strong market surveillance initiative by consumer forums, or even empowering the consumers to opt for this comparative testing options with the consumer forums. So we will have this detailed presentation on what it is. But then when I read about comparative testing, my interest picked up, and I really wanted to know a little more about it, because we as consultants, as community and marketplace stakeholders also should know a little about it. So quick introduction about Mr. Wadhwa, and who's from Voice, who's a board member of Voice. So he's a strong advocate for consumer advocacy, the decades of experience in consumer protection initiatives. So through Voice, he promotes consumer education, product quality, safety, and consumer welfare. Voice is a platform, an advocacy platform for transparency, accountability, and consumer awareness. Mr. Wadhwa supports independent product testing and market surveillance initiatives. engaging with policymakers, regulators, industry bodies, and consumer organizations. They promote, as in our platform, they promote the role of standards, the testing, and accreditation as a form of consumer protection. And he is recognized as a voice in strengthening the consumer confidence and trust in the markets. So over to you, Vadwaji. We're looking forward to your session. Thank you.
Rama ma'am, just sorry for the interruption.
Yes, Srikantan sir.
I think we should thank specially Mr. Vadwa for having delayed his presentation and adjusting to our flow.
Yes.
I think special thanks to Mr. Vadwa.
Thank you for that. Yes, Vadwaji. Actually, he also wanted to have a detailed presentation, and because this is a very interesting topic, and I did not want to stop him midway, and that is the reason when Adriana said she had to be out. She came out of the evaluation. I requested him. I took that liberty.
That shows is the interest of Mr. Vadwa and his inclination. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srikantan sir. Aarti, can we have the presentation of Vadwaji?
Yeah, please. Because
she's sharing it. She's sharing it. No issues.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm H. Vadwa. I am associated with this organization right from 1996. Before I took premature retirement from the Indian Air Force, So I was a specialist in the radar communications and avionics radar, weather guidance radar, so like that. So because of the travels and all, I had to take VRS and be associated with some of the organization who can, at least I can stay with my family and do some work, So this is a consumer organization. It's a very typical for like you, especially when we are into comparative testing. So we learned this comparative testing from abroad, like European or the US or the even Australian people are also doing comparative testing. Basically, this is a concept from the developed economies. But when we started, we were among the developing countries, so we were not very rich. But we felt that it's very important to empower consumers, because consumers are misled by so many, like misleading advertisements, or they are carried away through the dealers or the retailers. You decide something to buy, but you end up buying something else. So that is how we felt, okay, comparative testing is very important in India. So to start with, we are a full member of Consumers International. We partnership with the International Consumer Organization. We take know-how from them, like you are using dishwashers. But in COVID time, we found dishwasher was getting very popular. So we have a technical, joint venture with the European Testing Organization. So we get know-how from them. Being their members, associate members, they give us free of cost. So then, we guided the consumer. Okay, yes, this is also an appliance which is very useful for the consumers, especially who can afford this, especially during the COVID, there was no housemaid and all, and nobody was permitted to move around. So what to do? And housewives were some of the housewives from the affluent society. They were not habitual of washing the utensils. So this gadget you found to be very useful, and it was sold at a very premium cost. Now suppose it is costing 10,000 rupees, or 20,000, it was costing at that time 45,000 rupees during the COVID time. So this is how we clip into it. So we are into testing from 1991 onwards. But I took over testing in 1996. So we thought of why not to test different products, like expensive products where people are not empowered or they do not have choices. So that is how we entered into electrical and electronics testing. So, but when we decided in early 2001, when we started to do consumer durable white goods, there were no laboratories. If there were laboratories, they were not accredited. Like for the washing machine, there was absolutely no laboratory. Refrigerator, no laboratory. Dishwashers, no laboratory. For several white goods, there were no laboratories. Only with the laboratories, some of the manufacturer, 2-3 manufacturers only had that, and we were debarred from using commercial laboratories, or the manufacturers' facilities. So that is how we, know how from the other consumer organization empower the Indian laboratories. So we are into capacity building also of the laboratories. So it is coming up in my slides. So can next please. Next slide, please. So these are our major activities: comparative testing, and we had been publishing 2 magazines, one in Hindi, another in English, and our counterparts in various regions, we were giving them our magazine to translate into their languages. Like in Tamil Nadu, we had a consumer group. We in Kerala also, we have in Northeast also, in West Bengal. Likewise, even in Gujarat also, we had been giving them. We have a rather working relationship with the consumer organization, so they had been converting our magazine into their regional magazines. So we advise consumers free of cost on their legal issues. So if they are having some deficiency of services or any other services related to, they have been exploited, so we help the consumer free of cost through our advocates. We have a couple of advocates in our office who guide the people. And we keep conducting regular workshops, seminars, conferences, and all. Next, please. Yeah. Now, Ramaji, this is what is comparative testing. We test the branded goods and services to provide unbiased information to the consumers. We test the quality, performance, safety, like related parameters. So what consumer wants to know from a product he buys or she buys. Like suppose you want to buy tea, so we tell them which tea is better, among the brand being sold across the country. So nobody will tell you about this thing. No manufacturer will tell you. He will tell you about his brand, but not all the brand across India. Today we have launched a magazine, relaunched our magazine, which was discontinued for a couple of years. We are covering the test results of instant noodles, covering atta noodles and maida noodles. So I'll give you, after the session, I'll give you free of cost, so you can disseminate to all the participating members. It's a gift from our side on this National Accreditation Day. So these are all free of cost. Next slide, please. We compare the quality and performance, not the price. Price is the last. These are about 15 processes of comparative testing. It's not that just buy the product and test it. We refer to the national standards. Then we see any international standards. Then we see what consumer-centric parameters are there, like ease of use, ease of handling. Those parameters are not covered in our national standards. So we need to cover that also and give them the weightage. Then we develop the test form, share it with the research institutions, national standard bodies. After getting their comment, then we send it to the manufacturers. We alert them, okay, we are going to test this particular product like packaged drinking water. So your brand may also be there among the comparative testing. Kindly let us know. These are the parameters we have decided to cover. If you have any objection, any comments, or any clarification, kindly let us know. Or we'll assume that you agree to the test protocol. Most of the national manufacturers are covered in that dissemination, sharing of the test program with them. Then we select the laboratories. We buy the sample from the open market, like everybody buys. We go to the authorized dealers, not from all these small shops, because we have to retain the bill. Proper bill will be there, like legal bill we have to have. Not like BS that you have to go for sampling, seal the sample there at the shop. No, the seller doesn't know why he's buying. Then we code mask the sample so that laboratory doesn't know what brand they are going to test. They will only test A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. They won't test LG, Samsung, Haier, or Midea and all. They won't know. They won't come to know. Everything is hidden. Everything is masked. Everything is coded, so that the testing engineer doesn't come to know what brand they are testing. So that's very important. And we also visit the laboratory with the permission. Okay, we want to review the testing, how the testing is going on. Any problem is there, We only interact with the head of the laboratory, not with the engineers. We don't want to see the engineers. So any feedback is there from the engineer, we get it back, to guide them. Okay, if they face any testing problem during handling the sample and all, then we guide them. Then we get the test report. From the test report, individual test results are sent to the manufacturers and inviting their comments. So this is a second opportunity we give it to the individual manufacturers by sharing their test results to them. And we give them a fortnight to revert back, so that we also alert them that, okay, we are going to publish the test finding in our consumer magazine as well as in the national newspaper, or media, or nowadays, social medias are also there. So then they wake up, then they start, contradicting, start challenging. Sometimes we get threats also. So we have remedies, for all the this, obstacles. Then we publish. Then we, come out with the media, the like newspaper. But newspaper people doesn't publish because they might be sometimes giving full page blow up advertisements for the brand which is not performing on the top. So the newspaper people, they see if the brand they are publishing in their commercial advertisement, if that is coming on the top and they are matching with ours, then only they care. So generally they don't publish our test findings. So that is how we have chosen the media for our monthly magazine. Now it has become digital magazine. And okay, we keep have tie up with the like electronics for you. Suppose there is a electrical or electronic product we publish in the magazine. Now we have tie up with the national magazines, like that. And it is also goes to the Ministry of Consumer Affairs in their website. They promote it through the Consumer Welfare Fund. So in their portal they publish the extract of our test magazine. What test findings are there, like 6-7 pages they publish in their website. So that is another media, consumer comes to know about our test findings. Then we are into the BIS committees or FSSAI committees. We share the test findings. We are into the Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Also, we share them the test finding, like for the electrical product or the electronic products. They refer it for laying down the star rating program into their standard labeling program. So this is also value addition from our test finding. BIS we share for improvement of the standards, modification or the revision of the standards. So that is also a regular affair. We are into about 6 dozens of BIS committees. I'm myself representing to at least 4 dozen committees. So every third day I'm into some BIS committee meeting. So that is how they accept this. They regard our test findings and they take the views of the stakeholders participating in those committees, and wherever adaptable is there or possibility of adaptation is there, they accept our test finding for revision of the standards. And many times we have gone into the revision of the standards, which will come up in the next slide. Next, please. I hope I'm clear, in my presentation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next, please. So how it is done? The product, this I already mentioned. The product has to be a nationwide brand. It should not be a regional brand like from Chennai. Achi brand is there for the masalas. It's not sold across the India except the southern India. So we cannot take that. But we have taken sometimes. Like sambar masala, Achi is available across the country, some of the places. So we do that sometimes. But regional brands we try to avoid, so that consumers spread across the country are benefited from those brands which are available across the country. So test results provide unbiased information. No biasing is there. It's like word of mouth, word of like Gita. Everybody is have a very has sanctity into this. Everybody does like religious practices. This compared testing like our religious practices. So each parameter for a product is chosen which is useful to the consumers. Those are tested which are very, very useful to the consumers, which empowers them or which guides them to use the product. The result of testing are compared, rated against each other. So it is not comparable. Like energy efficiency, we will test all the 10 brands on energy efficiency. Air delivery, we test air delivery. Similarly, not apple to apple comparison is done, for the test parameter. And finally, we come out to the overall conclusion. Okay, which brand is topping in all the test parameters. That is how it is done. Next, please. So the objectives are the enable consumers, which I already mentioned on the multiple brands available. It draws consumer attention to the unsafe products. So this is also like advocacy work we do. Wherever any brand is failing or any non-compliance issue is there, we go even to the BIS, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. Many occasions we have alerted or urged BEE to take action against those brands which are not complying to the labeling claims. Like 5-star it has claimed it is coming to 3-star or 4-star. So likewise, when after the test results are shared with the manufacturer, then dissemination and advocacy work also taken up parallelly. So about raising the product standard by putting pressure on the national standard body, I already mentioned we are regularly into it. So we also take action against the malpractices, unsafe and poor products. This is through the regulators. We associate with the regulator, give them the evidences of the product findings. We have the counter samples also with us. So, but we are not we don't do thanegari and all. We primarily we advise, empower the consumers, and informations are with evidences given to the concerned regulators, for taking actions. Next, please. So it's a major tool. So test finding is a clear evidence. Okay, based on the testing. So it's a very clear information how to empower the consumer, educate, and right to address their. This aims to identify actual and non-market generated needs. Wherever consumer really needs the information, we focus on that in our competitive testing. So then it also counters the false, misleading advertising, which I already mentioned. Based on our test finding evidences, we initiate these actions. On the now. Fortunately, we have Advertising Standard Councils of India, so that is another platform. We share the test finding, wherever any misleading claims are there. Next, please. So again, it's a continuation of that. How it is empowered to choose the product. It's a brings consumer concern to the center stage of product manufacturing, selling, and the product. So we also act like a bridge between the buyers, consumers, as well as the manufacturers. Some of the manufacturers who are very responsible, they try to modify their product, upgrade their product so that they are at par with the better product who have come on the top in our test findings. So some of the responsible manufacturers also understand who are sensitive to our test findings, and they immediately, they carry out R&D and upgrade their products. It has happened regularly in our test findings. Next, please. Next. So it began in actually 1996 Consumer Protection Act was initiated, and some engineers from Department of Electronics ERTL lab, sent to Germany for taking training on this competitive testing, because we pressed very hard to the government. This has to be there is a policy decision to be taken to commence competitive testing in India. So they went to Switzerland, System Warrant Test in Berlin to understand how the competitive testing can be done in India. This because in Germany also they do without having their own laboratory, they do the competitive testing. So we wanted to adopt the same model, because there are several other countries who have their consumer groups have their own laboratories, like America, Australia, in Europe also. Some of the consumer group have their own laboratories. They earn a lot of money from the test finding, selling of the magazines, selling of the test reports. So in 1989, a committee was formed through a joint secretary, Swati Nair, in the Department of Food and Consumer Affairs. We sent a proposal for commencing the competitive testing. So finally, it was agreed, awarded, and there were a recommendation from the Swati Nair committee. Okay, it is coming up with the next slide, please. Can you show that? So we started with the color TVs. So these are the major recommendations from the Swati Nair committee. Manufacturers should agree to the procedure being followed by competitive testing. So that means onus on us to inform them we are going to test. Okay, these are our protocols. Kindly let us know. Do you have any suggestion, or do you have any reservation, or do you have any contradiction? Whatever suggestions you have, kindly let us know. So a weightage plan has to be there for product to product. Where the performance requirement is more important, we give more maximum weightage to that. So weightage plan is drafted out of 100 marks. How the weightage will be divided among parameter to parameter. So as a thumb rule, we compare testing is done on 10 to 15 popular brand. We buy it from the open markets, through authorized dealers. So the brand should have market share also. It's not that the market share is less than 0.5%, and we buy, and whose the testing will be futile. So it has to be very important across the country. The brands are available. So one test report I am going to share after this presentation. So you will come to know we have taken all national brands which are sold across the country. So in case of litigation, this is a condition in the last bullet. The lab experts are expected to appear to witness in the test finding, because we get legal notices from the manufacturers, whose brand doesn't perform on the top. We get legal notices. So we try to resolve it at that level itself. We try to justify what the clarification they have, what is the contradiction, why they are not agreeing. 99% we settle at that. Legal cases, hardly 1 or 2 we got, and those we won it, or that was neutralized. So far so good. We have no legal cases against us. Next, please. So it's a very complex process of comparative testing. So here comes the credibility of accredited test laboratory as well as the test results. It has to be very accurate. That the laboratory should be experienced. It's not that last year laboratory was granted NABL accreditation or the other QA accreditation, and we go to them for testing. No, what Mr. Ananddeep mentioned, they have to be distinct. The very first slide he mentioned, I fully agree with that. It's very sensitive matter. The laboratory credibility, laboratory staff experience, competency of the staff is very, very important, in our comparative testing. Otherwise, this will defeat our purpose of comparative testing. So the laboratory has to be independence, free of any commercial influence. We never allow anybody to interfere into the comparative testing, nor even the vice staff also goes there, except me or my staff. The person, who is authorized, the authorization letter is given to him. He will go and observe how the testing is going on. So we have a standard procedure. So next, please. So advantage of using external lab, because we cannot have like American. We cannot have. We follow the German models. Even though they have a lot of money, but they don't use their own laboratory. They said we don't want the liability of the laboratory. So they use external laboratories. Then comes the question of accreditation. So I also had been to Germany. They said accreditation, of course, is secondary. The most important is the competency of the laboratories. Even though 1 or 2 parameters they have, from the 8 to 10 parameters are accredited, doesn't matter. But the laboratory has to have the credibility. That's very important. So these are the advantages. Why we go into the external laboratories. The laboratory has to be NABL accredited, choice of variety consumer products, because we have a lot of choices. So that is how we can test electrical product, electronics products, IT products, food product, cosmetic products, personal care products, home care products. We test all categories of products. So the competitiveness, that is also advantage to us. Suppose we give it as a project, they give us some 10 to 15 or 25% discount. So reliability of the test is very, very important. That is how we cannot go to each and every laboratory. Like for the electrical appliances, there are 55 laboratories in Delhi and NCR. So we cannot go to every laboratory. We have to go to the very credible laboratory, because we have to face. Otherwise, we face a lot of music. After the publishing of the test report. So to avoid that, we do that. Next slide, please. So using external laboratories, the flexibility also, we get a lot of flexibility. So limitations, these are the opposite of that. Huge capital cost, vast infrastructure you need. Recurring cost is always there. For the staff as well as for the CRMs and all everything. Then operating cost is also very important, like DG set, air conditioning, or systems, cleaning, housekeeping, everything, those are part of the this thing, loads. Then limited operation, we'll only operate to the limited domain only. Not the suppose electrical cannot have chemical testing laboratory. So calibration cost, these are all recurring costs. So instrument gets obsolete from time to after 4 or 5 years. Instrument either get unserviceable or you have to replace it. So low adaptation of the expanding scope of operation. So like a electrical laboratory is there, he won't go into chemical laboratory or the mechanical testing facilities and all. He won't enter into those disciplines. So that is how the in-house laboratories have a lot of limitations. Next, please. So these are the laboratories. Many more have been added. So I think about 23, 24 laboratories we use. But at the moment, came to grinding halt because of the COVID, as well as cessation of grants from the government, so we were struggling hard. We are trying other sources also so that we can keep it alive. So you won't find any order laboratory into that, all may be well known to you. The people who are already participating into this, they must be knowing all these laboratories. Next, please. So transparency of voice testing, So I have already mentioned that we share the test program before testing to the manufacturers, We hold a technical committee meeting. We also invite a manufacturer association into our committee. Suppose we have not redressed their clarification or some contradiction there. So he can come through their association, we invite their association in our technical committee meeting. The laboratory testing has to be done on the masked and coded sample, which I already mentioned. So that means the chances of fiddling into the test data or into influencing or helping somebody are minimized, because over and above, we also visit the laboratory occasionally, during at least 2 to 3 times. We don't tell them we are coming. We only interact with the management and the in charge of the laboratory, and he allows us to see how the testing is going on. And we have the coding list. We identify which brand he is testing, so we can make out whether his coding has been removed or not, So those also part we see. So another safeguard we have is sharing of the test results with the manufacturers. That is very important, because this minimizes the legal cases against us. Otherwise, we will have dozens of legal cases against us. Next, please. Next, ma'am. So these are the commandments which Mr. Amandeep also mentioned. So I don't have to define. These are the 10 commandments of the test, good, credible, accredited laboratories. Next, please. So advocacy safeguard consumers. We are member of 8 dozen standard committees of BIS. So you can imagine. So how many? Even I am representing into at least 4 dozen committees. So electrical, electronics, food, agro products, IT products. So we are into Lab Advisory Committee of STQC. This is under Ministry of Electronics. They invite us, we go there. We are also advisory committee into the advisory committee meeting of Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Environment, Forest, likewise, FSSAI also. So there are several platforms we are represented into those committees. Next, please. So these are the outcomes and impact of our comparative testing. So I have already explained these. Many of things I have already explained. The most important is capacity building of the laboratory. Even in non-consumer, non-government organization, we are into capacity building of the laboratories. So we have built the capacity of more than 1 dozen laboratories. In the bottom, you can see most of the challenging for testing was washing machine. There was no laboratory when we wanted to test. But what to do? We had to do it. So we told the laboratory, okay, give us the electrical parameters, which are, you have the accreditation. The non-accredited parameter, we will take special approval from the sponsors. Okay, otherwise we have to do it. So washing machine, refrigerator, deep freezer, microwave ovens, you name it, we help the laboratories, into the capacity building. Even for the food products also, like doing organoleptic tests, we want to test juices, how to test the juices, because we have to test 1 dozen juice of one category. So we have to hire those volunteers. Similarly, for the fairness creams, so we have to use foreign protocols, how to see the efficacy of. There are in vivo and in vitro tests. So in vitro, this is different from the in vivo test. So those tests also we conduct into our cosmetic products. So there are many diverse disciplines we go into. Like Chyawanprash, there is no protocol. There is no Indian standard and no this thing. Now it has under Ayush, it has come now, but you will test only about the pesticide or the heavy metals like that. But on that performance or the efficacy, it won't tell anything. So we have to adopt that parameter so that we are able to guide the consumer. Okay, this is good for your health. But health aspect should be there in those parameters. So likewise, we are into revision of the BIS standards. It's a regular affair. We are into these committees. Next, please. Now I'm coming very close to that. So people are consumers are consumed. So we are here to help them. We wake them up, and we tell them, okay, you are confused. Read our magazine. Go to our website. You can see the information. Next, please. These are the foreign organization, consumer reports in the US. This is the second one in the test, the magazine is called Test. This is the organization who has empowered us. They are our godfathers. We have got a lot of knowledge from this organization. We still continue to get. In Choice, it is in Australia. In Choice, Hong Kong also is there, Even in Indonesia also they publish. So now it has grown to many, many countries, Now it is declining in the European countries, In most of the European countries, the competition concept is declining because of purchasing power and all. Or they have digital magazine, they don't want to buy a hard copy of the magazine. So, and they want to buy one product, they have the option to buy only one, like 1/10 of the cost of the magazine. So that is how the popularity is going down in the European countries. Next, please. So this again continuation in Holland also. This magazine is there. Test started in the Belgium. It's into other countries also. In UK also there's a, but the cyber is coming down in many of the which. It is in 7.9. This is very old data. I think 5, 6, 7 years old data. So, but the cyber base has come down gradually. Next, please. Next one. So these are the perception about the accredited laboratories we had. So compared testing, when it was launched, there was no accredited lab. I already mentioned. So we have helped building of the capacity. Even 3, 4 years back also, we have built the capacity for washing machine refrigerator of 4 or 5 laboratories. In the recent past also, you will come across in the Delhi NCR region, 5, 6 laboratories were empowered for this during the capacity building. So these are basically the know-how. Even in the draft, any ISO or IEC standard has come up. We keep getting to the draft standard also. We adopt that immediately to carry out the comparative testing. We'll see. Okay, later on we will see what happens. Whether it is, first of all, the draft standards are almost close to the finalization of the standards. So we follow those standards. So sun protection came. There was draft standard in the draft stage. We did it, I think, more than 10 years back. We did this sun protection creams. So still today also there are ambiguities in the sun protection cream, whether to do in vivo test or this thing in vitro test. But there are this thing. Laboratory tests are there already in the ISO standard. We have told BIS that cosmetic committee to adopt that because we have used the standard. That is adaptable. So that is almost complete. So for hair also many more like hair colors, there was no standard to see just the performance. So we did that. Making hair switches, dye them. See the efficacy for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Whether how much colors goes off. During the 2 weeks time, 3 weeks time. So those are very critical tests, but we are involved into those testing. Next, please. So these are my last slide that, of course, the quality control orders and other BW, lot of laboratory infrastructure has come in. But it's good as well as we feel some sad also that, yes, the accreditation process has been accelerated. I don't know name our previous accreditation laboratory, this agency, but it has become much faster. But there's a compromise on that, because what Mr. Amandeep has already mentioned in the beginning. So I fully agree with that. Yes, there are compromises. There are challenges also. There are, what do you call conflict of interest. Certainly it is there. Ramaji, it's a very serious matter. Conflict of interest are there. One accredited assessor comes. He sees, oh, it's a good laboratory and all. He takes photographs and all, everything, and goes back to his laboratory and start adopting those standards and ingressing into that laboratory or snatching that experienced person into his laboratory. It's just an example I'm giving. I'm not giving any evidence at all, but it is practical. It is happening. So conflict of interests are growing very fast. So that there should be checks on that. That's very important. Otherwise, one good laboratory loses a good experienced staff, and goes into the other laboratory for empowering his, infrastructure. So increasing poaching, I'm using this word poaching. It is happening. Skilled staffs are snatched by the counterparts. So can I go to next slide, because he has already mentioned. So are we comparable to any BH and NBH processes? That's very important. Last point. Because I feel NABH is having more stronger, this accreditation process than the NABL. Of course, they are related to each other. So possible solutions, what Mr. Amandeep also mentioned, I am I have removed many slides because I don't want to pinpoint, those points, because we are part of that. So enhanced credibility of new labs, that's very important, So which have come up newly. Then no compromise on the meticulous audits and verification. That's very important. The auditing has to be very, very meticulous. Establish credibility of the auditors. That is very important. The new auditors have come in, the fresher, 5, 6 experience, 5, 6 years of experience. They are becoming new auditors, but their credibility and their competence is very important to be verified. So independent is there a possibility of creating independent bureau to periodically verify the audits of accreditation bodies? So know-how transfer by lead labs, mutual. So this is a suggestion, can a expert panel of experts can be created who can assist the laboratory in capacity building, instead of poaching and all, or like getting transfer from the other countries, like we had been getting know-how from the European countries or the American countries, So instead of that, the experts who have a lot of experience and all in testing as well as in creating, establishing the laboratories, a panel can be made who can avoid conflict of interest as well as at a certain cost help the laboratory in capacity building. So next, I'm on the last slide, please.
Sir, is this the last slide, sir? Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
So the top right is our latest magazine, which covers noodles as well as packaged drinking water, all national brand. You name it, you will have those brand into this magazine. So thank you very much for, I think I have not overshot the time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the detailed presentation. Maybe you can also make a note of this request, ask from our side in your accredited laboratories. Please include labs from academia also into the scope, because there's a lot of credibility associated. Credibility, and when something comes out of an academic institution, the weightage given is more, and it is perception is, even a consumer perception is, it's something is authentic. So I think they have
Absolutely.
also, please include test labs from academia into product testing, and consumers will actually prefer that also. Very good presentation, detailed presentation, sir. We will keep reaching out. We'll keep reaching out to you. Please stay with us, maybe just 2 more sessions, and I must apologize. We are running a little late. Just one, we will take the questions also, because audience will have the questions.
I will send by you.
Yeah. And Mr. Anandeep mentioned that he has got to just leave. So there's one question, Mr. Anandeep, if you're there. There's one question from Mr. Gravel. I saw the question. I just would like to your views on that. What do Indian VVBs need to do to become CBAM verifiers? Please explain the route.
Yeah, very emerging topic, and I just wanted to tell that CBAM, there is another kind of imposition from European Union on the Indian traders or exporters. But CBAM is something different from the normal carbon emissions. This is it pertains to the embedded carbon emissions. Means it's a total greenhouse gases generated throughout the entire product life cycle, which comprises raw material extractions, manufacturing, and transportation, and eventually the disposal as well. So from cradle to gate, and gate to that is a cradle to grave kind of thing, all will be covered. But the issue is that this is applicable for the European importers. Whosoever from Europe wanted to take services from Indian industries, say basically from steel and cement industry we talk about, they have to comply the CBAM regulations. So how they will comply? They have to impose these regulations on the Indian exporters. But as of now, no validation bodies are recognized by, for CBAM by European Union. And NABCB also, we are also, in fact, Department of Commerce is having, dialogue with European Union on this CBAM. one-to-one, and we have participated in a few of the meetings with them. And NABCB is also, they are not recognizing NABCB. They have in their regulation that only European Union accreditation body, national accreditation body will be recognized. But of course, we have started dialogue with European Commission also, European Commissions, and there will be some solutions because Department of Commerce, Ministry of Commerce Industry is also into this. And we have already, on the instructions of the Department of Commerce, we have already done a capacity building program for CBAM. And on 17th of June, another program is organized for the awareness of the CBAM for all the validation verification bodies. We have around 12 plus accredited validation verification bodies, and they are having various international programs also, like VCS, Verified Carbon Standards, gold standards, all popular. But maybe soon we'll get some news, because we are also trying to other route also, like other European Union accreditation bodies like Sweden, Poland, and other German accreditation bodies, so that they can recognize mutual recognition based acceptance of our BBV's reports, claims reports for CBAM. But as of now, ministry is also supporting us, and we are under constant dialogue with these EU commissions. But it's not very easy. You understand that they used to impose a lot of regulations. But if you want to have export to the European Union, you have to meet the CBAM. But as of now, none of our accredited validation body are getting recognized by European Union for CBAM. Even CBAM, for CBAM verification in Europe also, not even a single accreditation body has started this. I think from second quarter, they would be also starting accreditation program like other EU accreditation bodies. They have also not yet started, because we had attended a very recent meeting in Czech Republic, wherein we met all our counterpart accreditation bodies in Europe. So they are also just preparing themselves to start accreditation for CBAM. But we are much ahead as far as the capacity building is concerned for CBAM. The second program is going to held on 17 June, and there may be more programs. But we are getting very good support from Department of Commerce, because the additional secretary is directly involved in the FTA to European Union for CBAM as well. So this is the update I can just only provide. But as of now, there is no recognition for NABCB.
Thank you. Thank you for that detailed explanation. Helpful. There are no other questions. Anandji, thank you so much. Thanks to NABCB also for supporting this session today jointly with Quality Austria. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We'll keep inviting you for the future sessions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next session for the day. So the very next topic is again something closer to my heart. So innovations coming from academic settings, and the validations also coming from academic settings. So whenever we talk about innovations, research, what comes to our mind is always academia, because the research is happening from academia. The real innovations are actually happening from academia and not much from the industry corridors. So academic institutions are contributing so much for churning out innovations, and they're also kind of getting into product testing, because something says when the product is validated in a scientific laboratory in an academic setting, it has a lot of acceptance and better acceptance and credibility also at the market space by various stakeholders. This is something we usually pick up in all the conversations. So we have a session today, an interesting topic from a stakeholder, which is an accredited testing laboratory. The topic is actually is about supporting innovations through accredited testing laboratories. And we have Mr. Ranganath Harish, who is the professor from Department of Electrical Engineering from IIT Kanpur. And just a brief introduction to Mr. Ranganath, and he is he's got 20 years of teaching and research experience, and a specialist in electromagnetics, antennas, RFID, and computational electromagnetics. Is a recognized researcher in antenna systems, wireless communications, and advanced technologies. He's got a recipient of Excellence in Teaching Award and Distinguished Teaching Awards also, and Young Scientist Award at the International Symposium on Antennas. And then fellow senior member of professional bodies, including IE, which is Institution of Engineers, and IEEE. Mentor to research scholars and innovators in emerging technology domains. and promotes academia industry collaboration, accredited testing, and technology commercialization. Interesting topic. Over to you, Mr. Rangnath. Very sorry about the delay, but series of conversations. We couldn't cut the conversations in the middle. Over to you, please.
Thank you very much. Humbled by your introduction. In fact, I was enjoying the sessions. I can see a lot of overlap between what I'm trying to say. And that's actually made my presentation much simpler. And let me do some trick here. Okay.
Yes.
Is my slide visible?
Yeah, very clear, visible. Yes, please.
I'll be talking about supporting innovation through accredited testing lab. Thanks for inviting me here. Very impressive collection of speakers you got today. And the topics are also very impressive, and really thanks to you for choosing these topics and making the day very exciting one for me. We have two words here or two phrases here. One is innovation. Other one is accredited testing lab. We all know what an accredited testing lab is. It is something which was independently evaluated and recognized as competent to perform specific tests according to international standards. And it ensures several things. But the most important one for us when it comes to innovation is repeatability and reproducibility and method validation. I'm not saying others are not important. These two somehow stand out if I were to take innovation into consideration. Now we are wondering, what is this innovation I'm talking about? This innovation can be split into three parts. One is product innovation. Other one is innovation in testing methods itself. The third one is innovation in accreditation. So I will be talking about all these three, and I want to emphasize how a accredited testing lab plays a role in each of these innovations. Start with product innovation. A nice statement, successful innovation through trusted testing. We ask the question, what is the product innovation? We come up with new products. I want to sell the product. To sell a product, we need to make sure its performance meets the expectation. So how do we ensure that? Through testing. The testing must be trusted. Suppose I don't have a trusted testing, the products will fail in the market, regulations block adoption, investors hesitate to buy the product, customers lose confidence. Previous talk emphasized a couple of points, and I don't need to repeat on that. So accredited testing labs are the invisible infrastructure behind modern innovation. When I say innovation here, I'm silently saying product innovation. These accredited labs, they have a different role to play at each stage in the innovation. For example, at the prototype stage, the accredited lab performs validation. Its performance validation is carried out. During pilot production, reliability testing happens. During certification, compliance evidence has to be demonstrated. At the market entry, you have to build customer confidence. I mean, that involves accelerated life testing and other paraphernalia test suites. When it comes to export, now we are into a global domain. We want to export our products. Therefore, our product should have international acceptance. That means whatever we test, if it is as per the international norms, our product gets acceptance. If we don't do any of this, the product may not be successful. I wouldn't say product will fail. It may not be successful as we want it to be. Okay, coming to the other one. Labs themselves must innovate. It is not enough if we have labs, testing labs, supporting product innovation. We also have to innovate ourselves. Brilliant part, ISO 17025, part of 7.2.16 says, when method development is required, it allows the lab to develop new methods. That's the beautiful part. This shall be a planned activity and shall be assigned to competent personnel equipped with adequate resources. There are a few more clauses there, but I've just dropped them. That's not important. The emphasis here is, as a test lab, I'm sure some of us are here who are part of the test lab. We also have an opportunity to innovate. We can develop new methods, but there is a formal way of doing that, performing that activity. Now, lab shouldn't stop at innovating methods. It also should look for advanced instrumentation. Whether we buy it or we develop it, it doesn't matter. But we look for better accuracy, better speed, and it needs to meet the requirements of new technology. See, when the product gets innovated, new parameters get introduced into the system for testing. And the older instruments may not be capable of measuring those parameters. This is where advanced instrumentation plays a very big role. Of course, it has cost implication. We have to, take care of that. Another domain, some of the statements I'm making, being an electrical engineer, being an electromagnetics person, they have a slight electrical and electromagnetic bias. Sorry about that. I believe these statements are generic, but my examples are specific. Digital calibration is an area where we think we should move towards it. Some of us may be doing it, but many of us will still believe in traditional analog calibration. It gives greater accuracy, speed, it's more reliable, ease of operation. For example, we have what's called as an eCal in a vector network analyzer. Traditionally, a calibration, if you want to do a full two-port calibration, you have to change the connector several times. With eCal, we just connect it once, press a button, the instrument does an electronic cal on its own. A brilliant way to speed up the calibration process and improve accuracy and more importantly, reliability. Since we are not mating and unmating the connectors very often, the quality of measurement improves. This is an area which I am finding more acceptable in the antenna domain, where we can use a digital twin or a simulation-based techniques to make the measurement more acceptable, especially when we are establishing measurement uncertainty. Typically, we would make several measurements, and then we always have a doubt whether those measurements were carried out accurately or not. But with digital twins, for example, we have fast computational tools. With that, we can introduce all the unknowns into the product and come up with uncertainty in, let's say, gain or directivity or a reflection coefficient calculations of an antenna. So digital twin is probably the future, and we should embrace it, which requires a bit of training, which requires a bit of understanding of the system, but I think we should not shy away from it. AI is the day. Most of you must be wondering how much of AI support I took to make this presentation itself. Valid, we should accept it. Why should we run away from it? It is like our friend. So we should use AI to enhance the quality of measurement, enhance the speed of measurement. For example, today we saw an image. Adriana made a beautiful image where she looked at the most advanced technology, geo imaging. But if we feed that image to an AI engine, it comes out with statistics just like that within jiffy. And we should embrace that, we should go there. But yeah, it brings in challenges. We have to ensure that that AI engine is acceptable to the regulatory body. We trust those results, those conclusions that the engine is giving. That creates new challenges for innovation. Again, it's like, self-looping. Accredited labs are not barriers to innovation. Most of us think that innovation and accredited lab, they are million miles apart. They are two entities. In fact, they hinder each other. Accredited lab relies on something which is known, not changeable, very frozen ideas, whereas innovation is always dynamic. It keeps changing. Sorry, they are integral part. They go hand in hand, and they are innovation partners. So if you see from that angle, even accreditation labs can also go through innovation. The gap gets bridged, and we are talking to each other. Therefore, the road ahead is industry, the users of accredited labs, and academia, users and creators of some of these ideas. I'm not saying industry is not creating. I didn't, even think for a moment in that direction. Industry contributes the knowledge creation at a different TRL level. And that is essential for the accredited labs to grow and for the academia to grow. We should work together to build innovation into our product and the testing environment. The EMI-EMC lab, at IIT Kanpur is one example where all three are coming together. Academia is my profession. We created an accredited lab thanks to the funding from National Biopharma Mission under BIRAC. And we have a large incubating companies located at IIT Kanpur. They use these facilities, and now they are experiencing what is meant by ESD failure right at the stage where they have not even boxed their product. They bring the gun and put it on the ground body. They know the flip-flop is getting triggered and resets the system. So they can make the design change right at stage one, helps a lot in making their product robust and acceptable. Last one, innovation in accreditation itself. Since this was a little different to the other part, I thought I'll keep it separate. I gave a short conclusion in between. I list out 2-3 points here. I am not an expert. I don't work in this area. I am a learner in this area. When we learn, ideas come. Therefore, I thought I should channelize my thoughts. I'm willing to listen to your ideas, your thoughts about how innovation could happen in accreditation. In fact, I'm looking forward to the next presentation, next speaker, to learn a lot about it. Digitalization, yes, it is happening to a large extent in our accreditation system. Nowadays, most of these entities are using electronic system to collect the data, trying to minimize the paperwork, good direction. This is where I feel that's going to make a difference. Currently, when we do the audit, it's like either once in 6 months or once in a year or once in 2-year audit happens. Very spiky audit. The reason is that the auditors do not have information live. We collect information, they come and review that, and then they say that, okay, you're doing well, or they give a feedback and we put a corrective action. But if the data were to be available online real time, then we don't need to do all that. Imagine an AI engine looking at the data in live, and whenever we make a deviation, before that creates into a bigger impact, it suggests a correction. Hey, fix it, go forward. Brilliant. It probably is going to change the way we operate. AI and data analytics, I believe, is going to play a big role. I think we should embrace it, but with caution. And virtual assessment is something which is, it took a lot of, strength. It acquired strength during pandemic. And during pandemic, joint IAF, ILAC, ISO did a survey in August 2021 report. They came out with some very interesting result. When it comes to conducting the audit, reducing travel time, use of new technology, most of the people agreed. Whereas when it comes to effectiveness of remote audit was lower than traditional on-site audit or audit disruptions due to internet connectivity, most of them disagreed. Perfect. But there is a caution. That is what we have to handle. Audit provides as much confidence as an on-site audit. Did not fly. Though if you agree and somewhat agree, if you combine, that number looks large, but I am a little skeptical about it. Organization will effectively benefit from remote audit. Many did not, they somewhat agreed. That was a surprise. That means you have to be careful when we implement this remote audit. And I hope in the next few years, more people will think about how this could be done in a more effective way, and it's going to increase the confidence level. Challenges are there, risks are there. Part of the audit process is identifying risks, but I call it opportunities. Data privacy concerns, cybersecurity threat, we have been watching it, hearing news, and technology adoption barrier is something where we should play a role. We should take it in a positive stride. Regulatory acceptance, I believe it comes over time, and training requirements, academia, I believe, should take a big step in this so that they need to visualize the challenges that implementers are going to experience, and come up with strategies in training people so that the whole ambit of accreditation itself becomes a very smooth process. So innovation creates possibilities and accredited testing creates confidence. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rangnathji. Very insightful presentation. And the last call of action is very much needed. This is the global focus. At least it started with regulatory now, that introducing this digital twinning, and then our Indian regulator CDSCO has announced a hackathon 2 months ago to digitize and digitalize, and this is India AI initiative jointly with CDSCO, calling for innovators to completely come out with AI enabled regulatory infrastructure for them. So this digitization and digitalization of regulatory structures and conformity assessment structures is the only way forward, and because there's a lot of tracing and tracking mechanism that regulators are using this digitization initiatives.
Right.
And it is a lot of agility that can be built in the whole system. Maybe this is where academia have to work together with the regulators and conformity assessment structures, at least to build this kind of an initiative from the country. And crisp presentation, and that innovations on the accreditation, innovation in the testing laboratory accredited lab, there are a lot of key takeaways and rich insights. Thank you so much. Just checking this last presentation, we have come to it. Please request you to stay with us if time permits, and then maybe if any questions are there, we will take the questions. And
thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be standing by.
Thank you. So over to our the last session for the day, and last but not the least, it is one of the important topics. The next session we have is actually the stakeholder voices, inspection body and certification body. So we have with us Mr. Pankaj Rai, who is the Managing Director of Quality Austria Central Asia, and who is also the President of Association of Indian Inspection Bodies. And we're very happy to note that we have representative platforms. CCC was born about 6 years ago. Then we have an association of certification bodies, and then we have an association of testing laboratories, Indian labs, and then we also have an association of some accreditation bodies. And it's good to have an association of inspection bodies, which was recently formed. So all these associations together can collectively represent the voice of conformity assessment for improvements in the country. Mr. Pankaj Rai will be speaking about what should change in the accreditation to enhance trust is his topic. Just a quick introduction about Mr. Rai. Mr. Pankaj Rai is the MD of Quality Austria Central Asia. It is QACA is what we call it as shortly. And he also heads the AIIB now, where we'll be doing a lot of marketplace conversations jointly with them. At least we will request them. And he's an experienced leader in the TIC space. This domain is called testing, inspection, and certification. So he's got a strong expertise in quality management, conformity assessment, inspection, and certification. He is an advocate for building competence, credibility, and impartiality in the conformity assessment, promotes trust and transparency through accredited inspection and certification systems. He collaborates regularly with industry, regulators, accreditation bodies, conformity assessment organizations, supports quality infrastructure, regulatory compliance, and marketplace access. He's a regular speaker in all these forums on related to conformity assessment too. So thank you so much, Pankaj ji, for all the help and support extended. This program would not have been possible. Otherwise, it's happening year on year. But this year, when we reached out to Mr. Pankaj ji from AIIB and Quality Austria, they have agreed to support this event. And even NABCB, they both are supporting this conversation that's happening today. So we would like to have your views, Pankaj ji, from the inspection and certifications as a key stakeholder.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes.
First of all, thank you, Rama ma'am, for inviting us over here. And let me ask you with a question. How much time I have? Because I can
No,
do it
please.
in 5 minutes and I can do it in 20 minutes.
Let's not do it. Please continue. You have your 20-minute slot, 15-minute
Okay.
slot. Please do it because we would like to understand what's happening in that domain of certifications and inspections also.
Okay.
Please
So
continue.
I'll give you both the perspective because
Yeah.
I have been an auditor.
Ah.
I have been an auditor myself since 1997.
Mm.
And I used to be the first batch of QS 9000 auditors, automotive auditors, and now I'm a business leader.
Mm.
So it is very difficult to be the last speaker in an event like this because you already, I mean, whatever you wanted to say, people have already said it. So now I have to say something which has not been said before. So I have a challenge, but I will do it. You see, what has to change? If I have to change, then I will change everything about the accreditation body, the way it is functioning. And why? Because not because things have not improved, because we must realize that there has been huge improvement in the last 30-35 years on the quality front. There used to be days when you used to go for audit and people used to struggle in terms of organization chart, job description and flow chart and inspection plan. Those days are gone. Now people are sensitized. What is missing and what is missing in the accreditation body, I mean, in terms of accreditation process, and this I give you from my experience. You know,
have your presentation? Sorry, I'm sorry. Do you want us to share? 1 second. Sorry, Aarti, can we?
I have already given it to you.
Yeah, it's available. No, I'll ask her to share. That's why I just thought I'll just check. We'll just check with you. She's sharing. Yeah, please.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. Sorry.
So,
please continue.
You know what has happened over a period of time, that accreditation has brought a lot of, sensitivity and also quality. But now things have changed. Now, because the customer requirements are changing, the world geopolitical situation is changing, people have changed, stakeholders have changed. So what has to change? I mean, if I have to summarize, there are two broad things. One is because I have faced many accreditation audits. What has to change is, probably AB accreditation boards have gone overboard on certain requirements, which is competence, then independence, conflict of interest, and impartiality. So I keep on hearing this for the last 35 years. There used to be EN 45012. We used to have same kind of discussion with Mr. Vijay Mediratta and team. Then came ISO Guide 62, Guide 66, and now we have 17021 and 17024. Things have not changed. And let me tell you one thing from my experience. If you look at the spirit of requirement, it has not changed since beginning, because people have not understood. We have become more elaborative, more prescriptive, and that is where things have not been able to provide the kind of result what we were expecting. Now, in my experience, what has to change is, can we go to the next slide? These are, now you look at cost of poor quality. The industry is struggling. Industry is struggling because in Indian industry, the cost of poor quality is as high as 40%. Our auditing time, when I was working for DNV, I tell you from my experience, when I was working for DNV, even those time, 8 hours audit on site was a requirement. And I used to audit 7.5 hours, only half an hour lunch, and 15-20 minutes reporting. Now what I see with the audit team and the inspection team, that they are devoting 50% of time in the reporting. Why? Because the AB requirement, accreditation board requirement, has gone overboard on certain issues, reporting issues, and they want to visualize, simulate audit conditions sitting in the room. And that is something, because every process has two elements: the value-added activity and non-value-added activity. When I'm an auditor, then as long as I'm on site, I'm doing my audit, I'm adding, or there is a probability that I can add value to my client processes. But if I'm sitting in my office, reviewing my documents, having endless discussion on competence, impartiality, conflict of interest, and other issues, I get nowhere. I can only become a good reviewer, veto reviewer, but industry, which is the end customer, end user, is not getting the kind of benefit what they should get. Can we get the next slide? Now, accreditation is like an umbrella. I mean, we are a supporter of accreditation. And we were the first one when I was in DNV way back in 1999. We applied to NABCB. We got accreditation. I mean, that is where the journey started. Even in Quality Austria, we are accredited for 17020, 17021, and there are a number of other standards for which we are accredited. Go to the next one. Again, this is go to the next one. Now, accreditation matters for the four, major society elements: the students, the institutions, the employees, and the society. Now, one important issue that is where AIIB is going to work with accreditation body is what we feel that the auditors, because there has been endless back and forth claims which is going on for the last so many years. It is the consultant who has not done his job. It is the auditor who has not done his job. But to my opinion, after auditing 4,000 companies world over, I can tell you it is the organization which has to be held responsible for not implementing the system what they should be doing. Why? Because no consultant and no auditor can improve any organizational system and processes. So this perception has to change, and to change this perception, what is required is that we must build and we must train people on auditing various organizations. Because the auditor, if we become, if we train and if we qualify people based on bits and pieces auditor, because organization may have problem by not calibrating their equipment, by not making a proper documentation, or there is some problem with the master list, or there is some problem with the incoming raw material. But these are not the broad issues. What is required, that we must have competence which is directly addressing the competence required to become an auditor, who has capability to identify risk and opportunity in the business. Because if I am a business leader, I am running a company which is employing 3,200 people. I have offices at 26 places. My revenue is growing 32% CAGR. Now, if I'm being audited for ISO 9000 or any other management standard, I will be interested only in if somebody addresses my problem. And my problem is what? My problem is categorized broadly into two broad categories. One, when I come in the morning, I see what kind of risk I have in my business. The risk has to be mitigated. So do I have consultant and auditor who are addressing this requirement? Risk being mitigated. Do I have control on my risk which I am encountering on day-to-day basis? Second, I am running a business. I have to optimize my opportunities. Do I have auditors? Do I have people in the ecosystem who has this kind of competence to audit, to guide, to mentor, to show me this kind of requirement, and to actually maneuver me towards these thoughts which are actually required for running a business? Next one. Next one. Yeah. So my AIAB suggestion is that simplify and strengthen the impartiality and independence requirement. Let us not make hue and cry that somebody did consulting and the same organization did audit. These are very, very small issues. I'm not saying this is something which has to be promoted, but this has nothing as compared to the kind of issues we are having. Let us see the larger picture. Let us see the bigger picture and address issues which are more important. Enhance competence requirement with ongoing performance based. Now, what I have seen, the ABs, the office audit has increased. Again, what is most value-added activity? The auditor performing an audit on site. So my recommendation and our recommendation is that rather than increasing number of office audit days, the auditor performance, the consulting organization performance also has to be blended, has to be seen with the organizational performance. So if I'm auditing an organization which is supplying to an OEM, the scorecard has to come from them. And that is how the rating of individual auditor, individual IBs, CBs has to be defined. Then only we are going to make the whole system accountable. Otherwise, you see a lot of bigger customers, big customers, they are now promoting their own scheme, which is second party audit. Because they say what value we get out of third-party audit. There will be an auditor qualified as per the system. Auditor can be qualified based on not only work experience, but also based on the audit log. I mean, if you do not understand business, you cannot be a full-fledged auditor who has capability to see the business in totality. So our recommendation is this. Second, next slide. Also, there has been, the biggest conflict of interest. It was way back in 1997. I heard in a conference when Dr. Lal was speaking, and he spoke the biggest conflict of interest in our business is that I have to take money from my customer, and I, as a IB and CB, has to pay to the AB. Now, this itself is the biggest conflict of interest. So, if this cannot be solved, then balance issues when the auditor is doing an audit, whether he belongs to a different organization or some amount of bias or unbiased, these issues what we have been discussing endlessly, that has to be discussed considering the larger picture. Digitization has to happen, and over a period of time, a maturity based model, because a lot of companies have lost interest. I would say the matured companies, they are talking about different kind of maturity model. So some amount of maturity model which could be based on Malcolm Baldrige or maybe on EFQM model has to be blended with the current management system requirement. It is going to be more effective. Next one. The last slide from our side. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you can ask me. I'm sorry for rushing it because I get very disturbed when you overshoot the time. So it is already 5:30. I saw some 70 participants were there in the beginning. Now we are left with 26.
There are a lot
Thank you very much for giving the opportunity.
Online viewers are also there.
Okay.
It is generally what happens is there's received about 168 registrations.
Right.
Over the years, all of them through the daytime engagement. So they're all watching recorded sessions, videos later subsequently. That's how it is. So some participate physically. But these are the reforms that I was suggesting to NABCB in the beginning, that in the conformity assessment, we should talk about the reforms that are needed, the suggestions and the recommendations with the system that is not adding any value any longer. So these are deep perspectives is what you have shared, have got to be analyzed from a 360-degree perspective. And maybe, yes, as you say, the accreditation structures or the frameworks or way of doing their audits or their accreditation systems may have to undergo a change. So because at the end of the day, last mile connectivity, if you see, it is generally the certification bodies or the consultants who have a last mile connectivity with the industry, not the accreditation bodies per se. And so either the CBs or the consultants get to hear very closely about the pain points of the businesses of the industry. This is something which we keep talking regularly. The businesses, do they see value in all the certifications and accreditations or the systems that we are trying to develop and build around it, when their problem statements are something else altogether? These are the conversations and suggestions, recommendations, which we call it as reforms that need to be discussed at the marketplace or at least key milestone days like this. This kind of feedback doesn't come up openly often, but this is what is needed. And thank you so much, because we have to take a deep dive into your presentation, your slides, and then we need to see how we need to do, because the trust at the industry corridor, the marketplace on the certifications and accreditations or test reports or inspection reports also, it's come down, and it's become very average. So collectively, we need to understand, analyze the problems. So very interesting insights, Pankajji. Thank you so much for being vocal about it, and very candid conversation. Thank you for that. So would like to have audience, any questions, please? Can you just share any questions if you have the questions? We have Pankajji here, and we have Mr. Vadva, and we also have Mr. Ranganath, and other speakers had to leave actually. Any questions? So if there are no questions, we come to the end of the session. So I would like to thank the speakers and the wonderful audience, and this session recording also will be shared with all of them who have registered, and even from our social media handles and mail communication, because this information should go to all about the takeaways from all the sessions and the key points. So we would like to thank all of you for joining us today. And this is our June month series, which is our annual series. And we have another session coming up on June 13th, which is on environmental management system. It's a short training program by one of our consultant members to celebrate environmental awareness day. So we request you all also to be joining and participating in that. So CCC will be creating some more conversations like this jointly with associations of certification bodies, inspection bodies, and testing labs and various other stakeholders jointly with the industry, because collectively we need to really see how the trust and overall credibility of the conformity assessment ecosystem has to be strengthened, because otherwise it's about certificate mills everywhere, and authenticity has become a big question mark. So industry needs proper conformity assessments. All of us are stakeholders. Something has gone wrong. It's not because of any single player. So all of us have to collectively strengthen and improve it. Some awareness sessions on various standards, schemes, new programs, new sectors. Emerging sectors are having a lot of schemes. So we'll seek your help, assistance from all of you. We'll keep inviting you all, and keep joining us for all our conversations, and support us to create more knowledge dissemination series. So with this, we will log off. I don't think there are any questions. Right, yes, no other questions. So with this, we can, I think, log off. Thank you once again to NABCB and Quality Australia and AIIB for the support extended, and from all other organizations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ramaji.
Thank you, Advaji. Thank you. We'll reach
I have sent
out.
you the magazine. I have sent you the magazine.
Oh yeah. It's there in the chat box, is it? I'll just pick it up. It's posted in the chat box. No, you've sent me a mail.
No. In the mail.
We will circulate it, Advaji. We will send it to everybody.
Okay.
Our campaign, post-event campaign will go. We'll do that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.